Yeah, here we are. It's Tuesday, innit? Welcome to the stream, one and all. How is it going? We've got some excellent people here already. We have got Ninny, we have got Johnny, we have got Napper, we have got Steph, we've got B-Rat. How are we all doing? Welcome in. Good evening. Good evening. Making things even. We got a stream for you today. And we are going to be covering Cenk on Jubilee. We're going to be looking at Nigel Farage saying trans rights, but only for trans prisoners in a confusing turn. Don't really know what that's about, but we're going to figure it out together. Helena was kind of touching on it last night when we raided her. No Justice MTG. So I didn't get a chance to really hear what was going on there, but we will take a look at that. I imagine it's going to be fuckeries. We're also going to be looking at national reporting on the Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker of the House, rejecting a Freedom of Information request to look at emails that he received from Israeli ministers. So it's going to be an interesting one. I am absolutely certain of it. I think the bulk of the stream is going to be Cenk on Jubilee. Not sure how much we're going to be dealing with that. Not sure how much of that we're actually going to watch. As you know, the last time we watched the Jubilee stuff, we gave up after 40 minutes of the video, and we are probably going to do the same, right? We're probably going to do the same here. Depends how cringe it is. Cenk is just a whole heap of what the fuck is going on. He's an interesting character. Like, I think the way that this debate is framed is he is a populist. He ran for the presidency last year, right? And he just completely failed. And I think that that's what it's saying. It's framed as one populist versus 20 Democrats and Republicans. So I imagine 10 Democrats, 10 Republicans, or maybe more Republicans. Who knows? With Jubilee, they're probably just all fascists. They're all going to be blue MAGA psychos. Always Kamala. You know, these kind of weirdos, right? But that's going to be the stream. Hello, Link. How are you? Welcome in. Mad Cat Scotty, Wild Scottish Martyr says, Dane's come over. I'm a No Justice MTG subscriber. Hey, how's it going? Welcome in. Yeah, nice to see you. I like the crossover that me and Helena have, right? It's good. It's good stuff. Also, hi, Modified Sprite. How are you doing, Sean? Good to see you. Please go follow Sean. Please go follow Johnny. They're also streamers. I'm not sure if Sean does much streaming anymore. I'm not really sure if Johnny does streams anymore, but, you know, go and follow him anyway. Why not? Doing fine. I had a little squeal when I heard the music in the trailer. Yeah, so that's the main thing about my day today. I've finished my video. It's completely ready to go. It's going to be published. It's going to be premiered on Thursday, 5:30 p.m. So make sure you're there. There is a link at the top of the Twitch chat if you are on desktop. If you are on regular browser Twitch, you will see it at the top of the screen. I'm not sure about mobile Twitch. It's a bit weird with links and pinned messages and whatnot. So not entirely certain about that, but the new video is gonna be out, and yeah, give it a, you know, get it in there, put the notification on or whatever, however you do it. Yeah, you can like click a little thing on the video, right, to say remind you. We're gonna watch that. We're gonna have a premiere of that, and then I got another video after that that's gonna be on my second channel. So after that, the premiere is gonna automatically raid my video on my second channel. So there you go. It's going to be really, really good. Steph has already watched it. I think she was saying... Wait, yeah, Steph literally saying that she's watched it already. Johnny said he watched it as well. It is already available for early access if you are tier 3 and above on my Patreon. So if that is something that you want to get ahead on, please consider subscribing to the Patreon. You only have to do it for 1 month, you know, £10 a month. But you know, consider staying subscribed for a longer time. I don't know. It would be good if I could not worry about money too much anymore. But yeah, so there you go. That's kind of my big news for the day. I did loads today. I did so much in terms of like doing little TikTok trailers for it, short trailers, putting it on Instagram, putting the Patreon early access up. I also uploaded 3 VODs today, did the thumbnails for them. It's been a whole massive week of work for me, to be honest. I think I've been working at this point now for about 1 day last week, 7 days, 8 days in a row. 8 days straight. I've not really had a break, to be honest, for about 8 days. So when Friday comes, I am going to be chilling so fucking hard, chat. You don't understand. I'm going to be doing absolutely nothing in my fucking vest, covered in beans, you know what I mean? It's going to be sick. It's going to be absolutely sick. What else did I miss in the chat? I had a little squeal when I heard my music in the trailer. Yeah, good. I'm really glad. Yeah, Nini's tunes are in the trailer. Are in the video. They're in the video at multiple points. Really love your tunes. Like super noise, like intense stuff. Like it wasn't something that I could use for like the whole video. But I've got someone else's music that I'm using for like other bits of the video as well. But your tunes are like, I mean, look, in an ideal world, your tunes would have been in the entire background for the entire video. But you know, people are going to be like, what is this? No offense, like, you know, noise music isn't for everyone, right? I love your tunes and they're sick, but like, yeah, it's like I had to go for something like a little more low key for like the bits where I'm talking. But like, just absolutely incredible shit. And it's really cool. I missed the chat message that you put in the chat yesterday, right? You were saying that you got approached to do some theater work. That's really exciting. That's really exciting. So yeah, congrats, and hopefully the you know, there's more moves happening for your music, you know, soon. Go and check out Nini's music, everyone. She's a noise artist, like really fucking cool. She's got a Bandcamp. Let me link that in the chat real quick. There you go. There you go. Nada161. Get to know. Get in early, you know what I mean? Get in early before all the hipsters get hold of it, right? So, very exciting. What else did I miss in the chat? Max, how you doing? Welcome in. Sorka, how are you? Good to see you. Watching Cenk is fucking insufferable. Always tortured myself in my chat with that. Yeah, it's good, innit? You already tortured yourself in your chat with that. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff, innit? Proper good. I can't wait. I mean, hopefully it's not going to be torture, right? Hopefully we're going to be able to, you know, we're going to be able to pause it at various points and be like, here's why everyone in this room is wrong. Here's why Jubilee is bad and it must be destroyed. You know. The more people who watch Jubilee through me and streamers means the less people who actually watch the channel and the video, right? So where am I up to now with the update? That's it, really. I've not really done much else today. Well, yeah, I've just been working. I've just literally been working non-stop. I mean, obviously I had like a bit of time to do personal stuff over the last 8 days, but yeah, it's really like hitting me now. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I just actually can't wait to do nothing on Friday. I've got like another tune that I need to make a little lyric video for. I mean, to be honest, I've got another 10 of those tunes, but the artist is like good with me taking my time with the videos. So luckily he's very patient and has a very positive opinion of me. So he's like, yeah, don't worry, there is a deadline for one on Friday this week, so pretty much Thursday all day I'm gonna be like working on that, and me looking after Han tomorrow because she's had like a procedure today that I can't even like pronounce. I'm not gonna say it in case she doesn't want me to talk about it on stream or whatever, but had like a medical procedure today, and yeah, I'm gonna go and look after her in the morning tomorrow. I really need to get a USB audio interface again one of these days so I can fuck around with my synth. It's been years. See, there you go. There you go. Look at that, Nini. Already inspiring people with your tracks. You know? The video's not even out yet. All I'm doing is bigging you up to the Twitch chat. And people are like, it is time for me to make some music. You should be proud of that. Liz, how are you doing? Welcome in. Krypton Juice, what's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I made another landlord video. Yeah, Bastard Landlord Influencers 2. It's coming out on Thursday. So there you go. So cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. No, thank you for letting me use your music. Like, you know, listen, it is not a problem. I know that I was just then bigging myself up, being like, yeah, I'm doing you a favor. It's not true. Like, you deserve it. You deserve all the support, right? I think that being a musician and a producer, especially like a noise producer, it's like, it's so tough, right? I just remember making tunes back in the day, and I tried to make some noise tunes, and I just remember making it and being like, I think this is so good, but I just old chum. And I felt like the same way about all of my music, innit? I was like, I just can't like put this music out into the world because it's so embarrassing and yada yada. So like, it's really important that like when someone clearly has like talent and stuff like that, like that they get bigged up 1000%. But it's your tunes, innit? You know what I mean? Like, thank you for letting me use your music. You know, hopefully as things go on, I'll be able to like compensate you, and you know, and also DJ Empirical as well, because his tunes are also in the video as well. In an ideal world, I would love to have enough money on Patreon to basically pay musicians for the tunes that I'm using in the videos, because I've never really been able to do that except for when Jane Moon used to do the music for my videos. And yeah, like I was lucky enough at that point to be able to pay her, commission her to make some custom tracks. But ideally, I want to be in a position where I could do that for every, you know, 3 videos or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Give some musicians some work and stuff, because listen, you know what they say, right? Like, failed musician, failed artist, turned into content creator, turned into political commentator. You know, it's true for the grifter, right? It's true for your boy. I mean, you see a lot of leftist political commentators are all clearly artists as well. Like, you look at the way they make their videos and stuff, and it's like, yeah, come on, these are all artists, right? Hey, Rat Freak, how you doing? That's true with the truly good stuff. It doesn't hit for a percentage of people. You're choosing not to make middle of the road stuff, right? Exactly. Yeah, Rat Freak. Yeah, good to see you. Hi, Middle Earth Marxist. How are you doing? Welcome in. What else? Brilliant title, Bastard Landlord Influencers 2. Yeah. Well, there's a Bastard Landlord Influencers 1, which is criminally underrated, by the way, but it is a Christmas video, so it's kind of like I made a huge mistake in starting a new series at Christmas, because obviously if you're in the middle of August, the last thing that you want to do is click on a video and hear jingle bells, right? You don't want to hear jingle bells. You don't want to look at a Christmas tree. It's just gonna be like, nah. Bad vibes. It's not that time of year. Shut the fuck up. You know, there's already people who are like trying to be as insufferable as some people are about Christmas, about Halloween, right? And I love Halloween, right? I'm being deadly serious. September, October, my favorite time of the year. Genuinely. It's like perfect weather. And kind of like end of August as well. You know, we're getting there now, right? We're kind of getting there now. But some people are like, it's Halloween. It's Halloween already. It's time to do Halloween stuff. It's just like, come on, man. It is fun and good, but I hate it when people are just like playing Christmas tunes so early and shit. It freaks me the fuck out. I'm just like, I don't know, it just feels wrong. Listen, people are allowed to like stuff. Agree to disagree. You know, I'm not out here being like, it's the worst thing ever and you should be ended, right? I would never. This isn't like a political disagreement. I'm one of those Halloween people. As I said it, I was like, I'm definitely putting some distance between me and my community right now, because I know for a fact that my vibes are like Halloween vibes. in general, right? I'm always talking about Ghostbusters. Yeah, I'm always talking about ghosts and Ghostbusters and aliens. And I don't know, I just feel like the trash, even though it's just like a heap of trash, it feels a little Halloweeny. I don't know, something about it. The colors like purple and orange, right? You know? Hey, Mr. Dang, how you doing? It'd be very funny to commission a bunch of covers of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, but substituting Christmas for every holiday. Open every video on an entire channel with it only to go, nuh-uh, it's an Easter song. She says Easter in this version. That would just be such a heavy bit. That would be such a heavy bit to stick to. Commit to that bit for every single video. Oh god, like I always think it's crazy as well that everybody like forgot all that shit about Mariah Carey. Everyone was just like, yeah, Mariah Carey like comes on to workers and like inappropriately, and you know, doesn't care if they're like gay men or whatever, and just like forces herself on people, like, you know, basically fucking sexually assaults people. And everyone was just like, yeah, whatever. Like no one talks about it ever. Like every fucking Christmas, she's fucking there singing her fucking tunes again and again and again. And I'm just like, did everybody forget? I don't understand. I just don't get it, man. Anyway, whatever. Two very dear friends of mine had a Halloween themed wedding. Right, when was that? I would genuinely prefer the song that had a slur in it. You're right, me too. Me too. I've changed my opinion on that over the years, right? About the Pogues and stuff. And I know that the Pogues are like, listen, it doesn't fucking matter. We shouldn't have said that word. We shouldn't have used that word, whatever. You know, and they're right to do that. And they're punks and they're legends. And whenever anyone like talks about it, like when Lawrence Fox was talking about that tune, and he's like, oh, we should be able to just say the word. And they like responded to him on Twitter and they were like, fuck off, you Heronvoke shite. Right? Cool. Funny. Based. Lol. Lol. But it's kind of one of them. It's like, I'm sat here now and I'm like, in that tune, what's her face? What's the singer? She died. Kirsty MacColl. She is playing like a character of just like a couple people who are arguing, and it's like they absolutely would have been using that word in the 70s for sure. Do you know what I mean? I just think they would have. Hot take on a super cold bit of discourse. I think it was 2016 or 2017. They gave out commemorative pint glasses with Frankenstein brand. No, did I ask what year? Because I genuinely meant what time of year. Like, was it at Halloween? Like, you say Halloween themed, and that makes me feel proper like... Because... if it's Halloween themed but not at Halloween, that's proper upsetting. You know? So I need to know as soon as possible what... when was it? When was their Halloween themed wedding? That's what I mean, Sorka. Imagine having a Halloween themed wedding at Easter. It's a product of the time. I'm not angry about it. It goes with the song. I just don't think... I think that where we should be at this, I think we can have a sophisticated line on it, right? If you're straight, just don't sing along at that bit. You just stop, right? You just stop. You don't sing that lyric. It's like when you're a white person and you sing along to rap. You don't say the N-word. Like, that's what you do. You just stop. Right? And it is just mental. Like, I've literally been like sat next to like a white person and they're like rapping along to a rap tune and they say the N-word and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And like this one particular person went mental and she like left my house. I had to like go outside and be like, yo, what is wrong? And she was just so fucking like desperate to be allowed to say the N-word. I was like, you just don't have to say it. Like you know what I mean? Like it just shouldn't be normalized for us to say that shit anymore. Like it's fucked. Is Halloween a stand-in for a particular goth aesthetic? So Monster Camp instead, like the cocktail world is trying to remove the word tiki from its parlance and replace it with American tropical. I mean, yeah, like interesting stuff. I feel like I can have this, discourse on, I've heard, everybody knows it's just really, really, really like should be basic stuff for everybody. You don't say the N-word, right? If you're not a black person, you just don't say the N-word. That's basic number one stuff. So I feel like I can comment on that stuff, and I feel like I can comment on the pogues because I'm a queer guy, right? That word affects me, right? But no comment. Not even remotely my kind of community. Not my kind of community, sorry. It's not even remotely my community. Like, where would that come from, the tiki stuff? Like, Hawaii? Or maybe? I don't know, possibly? Not for me to say. I would love to hear some Hawaiians. People being desperate to say slurs is so weird. I think the thing that makes it worse is that when someone calls them out for it, it's that, like, response, right? There's this whole discourse on Twitch at the minute that is around how white people respond to being told that they have done something racist, right? Like if someone were to, if a black person, if a black chatter or a black streamer were to say to me, yeah, dude, like you know, talking about that discourse is fucked up, and like, it's not for you to tell your white friend or whatever, yada yada yada. They would never say that because I've listened to so many like anti-racist black activists that are like, I know that that's like, it's absolutely something you should be doing as a white person, like bare minimum. If you're around your mates and they're fucking saying slurs, just be like, yo, don't. But if you get told that you're doing something that is racist, the response shouldn't be like, oh, what the hell? Why are you saying that? And just like get dead offended. It's like, oh my god, like being called racist is not this like, you have to understand that. Oh. It's crazy, right? Because most of the time, people are like, oh, words don't mean anything, so we should be allowed to say them. And then, a black person will call a white person racist, and they'll go, ah! Like, have the worst time ever, and then, like, yell and run away. And it's like, dude, I thought you said words don't mean anything. Right? Mental. If you want to check it out, Gastropod did a good deep dive into the word of the appropriation with a lot of indigenous experts. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. We're supposed to recognize that they aren't racist in spite of the slurs. Right. You could have a really sophisticated take on something if you listen to people who it affects, right? It's not hard. You listen to people who these things affect, and you go, yeah, that sounds daft. And then, no, it doesn't sound daft. Yeah, that sounds right. It sounds daft that I was defending that. I should change. And when you ask people generally, it's like, you learn about the behaviors that you do, that you perform, that hurt others, right? That harm others, that continues harm and stuff like this. And you do your best to just like get rid of that. You're like, nah, not about that anymore. And you do your best to educate others. And if there is, and then the place that you stop at is when there is a marginalized group talking about how other marginalized people in their community act towards each other, right? That's not for you to get involved in. That's not a conversation. Like, I would never in a million years. Like, you can understand. Like, I think you can understand to a degree something like, I don't know. if you're a straight person, you would probably be able to understand with a degree of accuracy what it's like for a bisexual guy to feel like he is invisible in the community when people are saying things like, oh, you know, you brought your girlfriend or you brought your straight boyfriend to the dance or whatever. And it's like, I'm literally queer. Like, what are you talking about? Right? Something like this. I think that that's like a case. I think you can do something like that. But I would not, like, for example, I would not in a million years remotely start to talk about an issue like colorism, for example, within the black community, right? You can empathize with marginalized groups, but me as a person's privilege will never understand their day-to-day. Right, Krill Tecular. How are you doing, by the way? Good to see you. Even if it wasn't racist, I still wouldn't say that word. It's just an ugly word, even without the history, right? Being told they can't or shouldn't say slurs they object to. We're supposed to recognize they aren't racist in spite of the slurs. Yeah, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. They think they have an excuse to say it without being racist. So when someone calls them out, it's like an ultra instinct strike on their ego. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is that. It is that. It's all about ego, right? It's all about ego. People have this like layer that they build up, and that is what the ego is, right? It's a thing. It's how you project your understanding of yourself to yourself, right? So most people's ego is either super damaged, and you know you have like a bad view of yourself, and you think you're like a scrumbly, gross weirdo and stuff. Like I look at myself in the mirror a lot, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so ugly, dude, right? I do that all the time, and I you know, but like it could change, and you could get like super confident, and you can get this like ego and this idea of yourself. But even outside of that, you can have like an idea of yourself and like what you are and what your values are, who you are. And if you think that you're not racist, and then someone is like, you are racist, it's this huge like, yeah, right? Your HRT is arriving tomorrow. Let's fucking go. Oh shit. That's the wrong... you can't hear that. Oh no, you can hear that. That's the wrong sound effect. I meant to do this. Hell yeah. Good for you, Sorka. That rocks. You've been off it for 2 weeks? Oh no, I'm sorry to hear it. I didn't know that. That's really shit. And you were rationing it before as well. Oh no. Hey, Rielan, how you doing? Yeah. We're allowed a little bit of Mao as a treat. We're allowed a little bit of Red Sun Rising as a treat, right? If a non-black person used the word around me in any context, I'd know for sure they don't respect me at all. It's really that simple, right? It's just that simple. Words don't mean anything, so I could say this word. Okay, so I could go around and call you a child abuser. Right. Well, it's the whole argument about free speech, right? Fash love to be like, free speech is so good, you should just be able to say anything that you want. And it's like, right, so I could just call you a pedophile. With no consequence, that, you know, no consequence to me, but all the consequences in the world to you, who everyone now thinks you're a pedo. Right? You might get attacked, you might get harassed in the street, you might lose your job. You might have a police investigation against you, right? So you know, what is it, right? What is it? You know, I used to the analogy that I used to use as well was, right, so free speech is when you could just go run around and just be like, there is a fire happening right now and we need to leave, right? We need to leave, innit? And there's no fire, but you're just like wasting everyone's resources, wasting everyone's time, causing a load of panic and shit. There has to be consequences for shit like that. There has to be consequences for things like just fucking lying about people. Lying about people, lying about things that happen. Like, yeah, being trans keeps being more and more revolutionary in the UK. I mean, you're right, right? You're fully right. If you ever, you can have a, yeah, I already read that. We are actually going to be checking out some Farage very soon in relation to trans rights, which is just crazy, right? Also, they never get punished anyway. It's like that bit we watched yesterday about being arrested for saying you're white, right? Yeah, nothing ever happens anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, they do technically have free speech. They're just allowed to be so racist. The only time that the cops arrest racists is when it gets, like, too late, right? When they've already attacked or murdered a black person or just, like, a Jewish person or, you know, anyone who's not white, right? When it's too late. And the it just makes me so fucking mad, honestly. I swear to God. I swear to God. Chat. Okay. Should we start? It's only been 37 minutes. What's happening? What's happening? I don't even really have any, like, candy for us to look at. I've just had ultra work brain on to the point where I didn't really have any time to make any dinner yesterday. And I had, like, instant noodles after the stream. I had, like, 2 packs of instant, you know, noodles. And it was just the worst thing I could have done. I woke up this morning and I was like, yeah, that was bad. Like, I wanted to lie in, but I couldn't, right? I had to go. I had to fucking go. I was like, right, I gotta get up. I've had 6 or 7 hours sleep, and I've got to get up and sit there, right? It fucking sucked. So thankfully, I had, like, something proper to eat with some veg and everything before the stream. And I was getting, like, a migraine towards the end of the stream. I was like, what's wrong? Like, yesterday, and I was thinking, like, is this, like, the racists? Is this the fash? Are they, like, you know? Are they getting to me in that way? And then I got off the stream and I ate something and I was like, oh no, I was hungry as fuck. I was so hungry. Even though I ate something before the stream, I didn't eat much in the morning, like in the day yesterday. So, you know, I was just doing so much stuff. Is there any fun stuff that we can look at? Let's take a look and see if I got anything in my watch later. Excuse me. I love that this stuff keeps happening, right? Whenever I'm on YouTube now, like they are actually doing this thing. I don't, like, this isn't just me, right? Like, if you go on YouTube, you'll get videos that have like 8 views and shit advertised to you. This is not like it's not like a weird phenomena, right? This is actually happening. They are actually, like, promoting smaller YouTubers now, right? Which is nice. I just need some pee. Where I'm always needing some pee. Oh, I could fucking murder a Wigan kebab. Oh my god. Oh yeah, actually, I fucking need that. Oh my god, I actually need that so bad. That is what it is. That actually is what it is. I need a Wigan kebab. I need a pie balm and some mushy peas. A bit of gravy. Yeah, I'm gonna get that. The next chance I get, I'm gonna get it. What's this? Let's have a look at this short. What the fuck is this? Ghostbusters. Who killed a waiter for getting his...
I looked into Slimer's origin.
Slimer's in the new Frozen Empire thing?
And I found not 1, not 2, but 3 explanations. First, in the real Ghostbusters comic from the late 1980s, Slimer was in fact an obese king named Remmels, Slimer backwards, who died of heart failure. Next,
Remmels?
According to the Tobin Spirit Guide that you...
Remmels! I mean, they didn't need to do that, right? They didn't need to be like, oh, we come up with a name for him. It's Slimer backwards. You could just be like, oh, his name was John, King John. But he's called Slimer because it's just like a pet name for him. It's literally a pet name in the real Ghostbusters. They're like, it was in that episode that I watched that I was telling you about, where I was like, oh, there's going to be something about ghost rights in this video, but there weren't in this episode, but there wasn't. It was called like Citizen Ghost or something.
You can buy on Amazon. Slimer was conjured by one of Ivo Shandor's disciples in a ritual gone wrong right there in the Sedgwick Hotel. Finally, Paul Feig's 2016 Ghostbusters had a deleted scene explaining that Slimer was a gangster who killed a waiter for getting his order wrong. But the dumb part is Feig's needless explanation of why Slimer...
Oh, just like the CGI Slimer is just like so bad. And I'm not just saying that because it's the 2016 one. You know, it's just like CGI Slimers are just. Can we just do some practical effects? It's like not that hard.
Ghost doesn't have legs, and I quote.
Whenever I see CGI that is, you know, something that can be done with a practical effect, the thing is that what it reminds me of is that Hollywood is not interested in art. They're just interested in paying workers who are often people of color fuck all money to do this like insanely detailed work. Oh god. You know?
When the Ghostbusters come in, they haven't quite tested their...
Like, it's good that people are getting jobs and stuff, but they're getting underpaid and it's bad, and like it's just like so completely insane when you just think about like how much work these guys do, and it all ends up looking like slop, and it's just because they're getting underpaid. Good CGI can look really good, but like in Hollywood,
so blows his legs off.
There is just this like
turns
CGI slop, right?
No idea why Feig was so compelled to justify the appearance of a silly ghost, but none of these are canon anyway, so thank goodness for that. I looked into...
Right, that was garbage. Like, even this looks so bad. It's like, just get a puppet, spray it with a bit of fucking water, and then, you know, do that with like a green screen arm thing on, and have him go around like that. You can even mask the puppeteer out, right? You just go like that, and then you have like a rotoscope effect. It wouldn't even be rotoscope nowadays because you can just like have, you know, effects. Just what do you call it? Like just a transparent effect, like just the wet puppet, like Slimer all scenes. I'm a Slimer truther. All Slimer scenes. Oh, I'm gonna get banged out for this on YouTube, aren't I? Wait, no, because it's on YouTube, so it's not gonna get blocked, right? Okay, right. I was found the Lord of the Rings approach for practical effects and close for close, and CGI for wide and large shots hold up the best. Yeah. I think that was a really well produced movie. Yeah, I agree. As a kid, you loved Slimer. I mean, Slimer was designed, not really in this movie, but Slimer was designed, at least in the real Ghostbusters, to be for a kid to be like, I want that toy, right? Because he's like a silly ghost. It's like ghosts are supposed to be scary, but Slimer is not. He's just like loves to scran. And that's also relatable, right? You can relate to a ghost that loves to scran because it's like, could you imagine how shit it would be to be a ghost and not be able to scran stuff? You know? Oh yeah. Fuck Peter Jackson, honestly. Like, yeah, union busting bastard, 100%. Yeah, he exploited a bunch of Maori and I think like other indigenous peeps down under to be the Uruk-hai and the orcs and stunt actors and stuff, and you know, all the extras in the armies and what have you, and they tried to unionize. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson. Yeah, like they tried to unionize, and he was like, nah, I'll just like find some other extras who will do this for no money, right? Yeah, so, you know, Yar! Hey, how you doing, David? Good to see you. Everybody, please go and show us some love. Can you hear the cops? So many cops. Starmer's fucking Britain, man. Honestly. Love living in a police state. It's so cool. Everybody, please go follow David. Please go follow the 27 Club. Incredibly good Scottish streamer. If you like my politics, you'll love his politics. Go and show him some love. Hey, Fenty Hands saying hi. Everyone show Barn Program some love as well. Just in the chat. Because she's my partner and she had a medical procedure today. I hope you're doing okay, baby. Right, I'm not gonna get slammed for this, right? There's another cop car going past. There's another one. Right, okay. It's just fucking, like, I can't fucking hear myself think. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, how am I supposed to stream when I got all these fucking feds? Anyway, whatever. Hell yeah, best of Slimer. This is what we're doing. Oh, look, it's great. You just get a guy with a puppet. You spray it down, make it a bit wet, and then you make it transparent. You just, you know, opacity. You can do all this on fucking Premiere Pro now. It's so easy. You just like keep the camera in a locked off position for the shot. You do 2 takes. You do 1 with the actor in, pretending that there's someone there, and then another take with the puppet doing the thing. And you just like mask out. So like you would just like cut off this bit of the frame and then have the second shot underneath this first shot, right? Oh my god, Max, I don't even have that fucking hat anymore. Mule's been editing. I have been editing. I've been editing for the past 5 days, yeah. But I would talk about this stuff anyway. I would talk about this stuff anyway, even if I hadn't been editing. I do live in fucking Cop City. It's fucked, David. Honestly, fuck the GMP. Honestly. I wonder if they use glue or allowed Aykroyd to let that ciggy stick to his lip. There's like a certain kind of situation that happens when you're smoking a fag and you have to, sorry, I keep saying it. That's the second time I've said it recently. I mean, like, fuck it. Like, I say it all the time, but like, I'm just thinking about Twitch. Like, am I gonna get in trouble? I don't know. Whatever. Smoking a ciggy, right? Whatever. Who cares? I'm fucking queer. It's our word. We can say it. Whatever. Like, it's not directly outside my house, David. Like, they're all going past. Like, I live on like a main fucking through road, basically, for people to travel through town and stuff. So what's probably happening is there's a police station in town. Yeah, they will have been coming up Peter Street, right? Okay, yeah. And then, right, okay. Yeah. So it makes sense, yeah, that they would have gone to wherever. Okay, yeah. Kay's Ukrainian models are trying to burn something down again. Are you a Keir Starmer Ukrainian model truther? I mean, it's super funny, right? You know? I'm not saying that stuff hasn't happened or like he didn't do that or whatever, but if it's true, the thing is that like the only reason I'm skeptical of it is because if it is true, it would be one of the funniest things ever and it would be so good. It would just be too good to be true, right? Insane Keir Starmer sex scandal. Nothing would happen. Nothing would happen to him, right? They must have used a little bit of glue for that for sure, right? But you kind of can. If you're smoking a ciggy, right? I'm lost. Can we get a TLDR? Wait, have you not heard this? Right, so Keir Starmer. All right, okay. Yeah, we'll do this. Is there going to be anything here? So this is just like insane. This is an insane thing here, right? Keir Starmer's house and cars got firebombed earlier this year, like 3 months ago, literally just as I started streaming again, and I never covered it because I was like, oh, it's not going to be anything, right? But basically, the things that were released in the news were it was a Ukrainian male model, aged 21. This is a bit of a shit post, right? Because this person is saying, how did a Ukrainian male model aged 21 with limited skills in English locate 3 properties and a car currently or formerly owned by Keir Starmer and allegedly firebomb them? And why? Do we have any journalists left in Ukraine? I mean, like, this part of it is stupid. It's like, why are 21-year-old Ukrainians idiots who can't speak English? It, like, feels a bit xenophobic racism, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of like that, like, anti-European, anti-Slavic kind of take that, like, some fucking boomers have, right? So this part of it is stupid, but this bit, the sort of like formerly owned cars, is interesting, and it's, people have speculated that what has happened is these 3 men were all like sex workers and they were doing sex work for him. And 21-year-old Ukrainians in London, yeah, they're definitely hitmen, right? Ukrainian National Petrol Project in North London was charged with conspiracy to commit arson. 2 other men, Roman Larenovich, Stanislav Karpowicz. What's Starmer's view on Ukraine? Oh no, like, he loves them. Like, I don't think that this is like a hit job or anything like that. I just think that these lads were sex workers and I think he was fucking them. I think that's what it is. And I think that, like, they firebombed him probably because, I don't know, he probably didn't pay him or didn't pay him enough or whatever, right? And these guys were like, yeah, well, fuck that. Who cares if he's the prime minister? You know? I think it's a sex scandal waiting to happen. Maybe he forced them to sign NDRs or some shit, right? Anyway, that's what that's about. That is what Riolan was talking about. I'm not in London, by the way, Riolan. So even if it was that, it wouldn't be that. I don't think Keir Starmer's ever been to Manchester. I don't think he's ever been here. I think if Keir Starmer set foot in Manchester, he would die immediately. You know, it's kind of like he went to Liverpool and Audrey White was like, you went in the sun, you said that you would get justice for those who died at Hillsborough, you went in that fucking newspaper, you're going back on all your promises, and he got fucking harangued. Rightfully so by Audrey White, the fucking legend, right? Is Manchester where all the stabbings happen? What are you talking about? All the stabbings? No. What are you reading, like, where stabbings happen? Look, if you're reading stuff that is like there is a stabbing epidemic in Britain, yeah? It's nah, that dude's you. Don't be mean to Max. Max is like sound. Don't start beef with this chatter. Max is okay. All that shit that you hear, yeah? all that shit that you hear about stabbing, like there being a stabbing epidemic in Britain or like loads of stabbings or anything like that, it's not true. It's just all this fucking nonsense that is in conservative rag newspapers. Funnily enough, that kind of shit would be in the Sun, right? That kind of shit would be in the Sun newspaper. Like there isn't a stabbing epidemic. It's something that is designed to it's news that is designed to confirm boomers' biases that cities and towns are full of black people, scary brown people, scary black people, and they stab at everyone all the time, right? When I was saying yesterday about the Piccadilly Gardens stuff that the Fash were talking about when they came to Manchester, they were like, oh, Piccadilly Gardens, right? The reason that they talk about that is because that's kind of like a place where a lot of black and brown people hang out. I walk through Piccadilly Gardens on a regular basis. Like I live in town. Do you know what I mean? I live in town. No, Max, like don't let's not start a fucking argument in the chat, because if you start an argument with each other, I'm just gonna like time both of you out, right? So let's just like cut that now. No more fucking messages going back with each other, yeah? Like that dude Zoo thought that you were a grifter. Like the reason that dude Zoo has said that to you, right, is because the stabbings thing is like a racist talking point, yeah? So that dude Zoo thinks that you're a racist for saying that, yeah? So that's why I'm trying to say to you that kind of a rhetoric, you know, is just it's not true, right? So you get it, right? Yeah, no, it's all good. Like, yeah, don't worry, it's all good. Like, you know, we can come to an understanding together, innit? Like, it's difficult when you're in a Twitch chat to like get this kind of understanding together, but you know, we're here to learn and we're here to figure stuff out, yeah? Yeah, like it's like David says, like stabbings happen, it fluctuates up and down, but most of the time it's just fear mongering. Look, like, you know, the way that you've got to think about stabbings, especially if you're an American, right? You think about it the same way as shootings in America, right? It's just the same thing. And you know, conservatives in America do the same thing, right? They say scary black and brown people are always shooting each other, yeah? And it's just nonsense. Right, and if there is a so-called epidemic of crime in black and brown areas, it's because those areas are over-policed, and the same is true for England, right? The same is true for the UK. So yeah, just important to remember that. But yeah, no, Manchester is just like, you know, it's a city. It's the same. It's not the same as London. Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle, Leeds, Birmingham, these are all like cities outside of London in England, and you know, yeah, sure, there's problems, right? Had the nicest chat with Carol when we were in the waiting room at the hospital today. Never been ashamed to be from Moss Side, only proud. Can't even explain to you the community I grew up in. Yeah. So if you don't know, Moss Side in Manchester is an overwhelmingly you know, black area. Yeah, it's still overwhelmingly a black area. Yeah, if you ever said Moss Side for years, people were like, oh my God, if you go there, you'll get shot, right? Now, okay. Here's the thing. There was certainly a gun problem in Manchester back in the day, right? The gun problem was overwhelmingly people from white areas like Wythenshawe, Salford, in gangs that would come to black areas like Moss Side, like Rusholme, and start shit with gangs there and try and sell crack. There's you know, in the same way that in the USA, crack was being sold in black areas, they did that shit in Manchester. They did that shit in the UK. Yeah? That's how it's always been. You know, black communities are always getting shafted in so many ways, and there is such a concerted effort to keep that rhetoric going because it just divides us, right? You know what I mean? Gangs are a symptom of society. Absolutely. Gangs are a symptom of capitalism. Gangs would not exist if there was no incentive to hoard wealth. If hoarding wealth was meaningless, if everybody got everything that they needed in this society, there would be no incentive to try and steal, racketeer, you know, protection rackets, all that kind of thing, right? These are all symptoms of this horrific system that we live under. I distinctly remember the radio bombarding you with stories about stabbings that were definitely with no correlation to the actual amount of stabbings whenever I'm in the UK. Yeah, that's right, Mia. Yeah. I guess I fell for the American talking point. My bad again. No. It's all good. Like, you know, appreciate you being, you know, you're a good chatter, Max. Like, you know, you were asking stuff yesterday, learning stuff. Like, you know, people are learning stuff all the time, innit? I'm still learning stuff. And we have biases. We were talking about that just as the stream was getting started. We have biases that will continue. Like, if you're privileged in any way, if you're white, if you're cisgender, if you're heterosexual, if you're a man, if you're you know, not disabled, like, by society, you are always gonna have these biases, and you have to challenge them constantly all the time, right? Right, terrorist and gang, you could say that they are racially charged terms. Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, I tick all those boxes. Right, I tick most of those boxes. And don't feel bad, David. You know, and you will just have, like, those biases, and you have to challenge them all the time. You have to think about it and be like, right, okay, is what I'm thinking what I actually think, or is it propaganda that I've absorbed? None of us are immune to propaganda. It doesn't matter how much of a communist you are. It doesn't matter how much of a fucking, like, I had like a fucking tinfoil hat moment a few months ago when I saw the Jerusalem Post, the Zionist papers, right? Because I check the Zionist papers every now and then because it's good to understand where the enemy is coming from, right? And it said, oh my God, is Trump going to recognize a Palestinian state, right? Is Trump going to recognize a Palestinian state? Oh! And then, like, 2 fucking days later, they went to war with Iran. And Trump was like, yeah, sick, let's bomb the fuck out of Iran and all this shit. Yeah, Iran's got to go. Like, Netanyahu, they're just defending themselves and all this. And it's like, oh, right, okay. So it was all part of this big fucking plan where he went around the Middle East. He was talking about, oh, don't worry about the normalization. Don't worry about the Abraham Accords. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we're not bothered about that anymore. It's fine. Just, like, you know, sign this deal under the table that means that we can, you know, we can still, like, use your territory for yada, yada, yada. And, you know, the Jerusalem Post, Haaretz, every single one of them, they were like, oh my God, Trump hates Israel now. He hates Israel. Oh my God, it's the end of Israel, right? Everyone was, like, shitting themselves. And then, like, immediately they went to war with Iran. Right? and I was like, oh my God, Trump's gonna do it. The Israeli papers are talking about it. He's gonna do it. Like, I fell for it so hard. I was like, this is gonna happen, right? Real End, thank you so much for gifting a sub to David. Enjoy your ad free viewing. Enjoy your sub. Thank you so much, Real End. Appreciate that. There's no cure for these assumptions and biases. The best we can do is be aware and keep them in check. It's always the little things. Yeah. You just got to keep working at it. Keep doing it all the time. A really good way that I've found to do things like that is read books, right? I've started reading again. That's really good. And what else? Read books. That's it, really. Just read books that are about challenging your biases. Max Turner, thank you for gifting a sub to that dude Zoot. Change your media consumption. Look at loads of different sources. Try and seek out grassroots media when you can. Some of the best journalism that you'll find is local journalism, which is mental, right? Absolutely mental. That local journalism will be, you know. We are on a hype train, chat. So you know what that means, right? You know what that means. It's crazy that 2 subs is all it takes in this chat nowadays, but there you go. YouTubers on the VOD channel. Let's bring that back, the YouTube chat. Welcome back, YouTube. Not YouTube chat. YouTube VOD watchers. Welcome back, VOD watchers. I don't live stream on YouTube simultaneously anymore because Restream turned their free service, their open source service, into a paid service. It's good, that, isn't it? It's good when monetization happens. Yeah, you could just, like, stay there now, couldn't you, buddy? And it'd be good and comfy, wouldn't it, hey? Eh? Wouldn't that be nice? It'd be nice if that was the case. He's like, just give me another fucking biscuit, pal. Right. I need to, like, wipe my hands on my pants because of his slobber all over it. Right. What did I miss in the chat? Proton packs to destroy all the AI-generated ghosts of the original Ghostbusters cast. Oh, Jesus. Hey, Helgina, how are you doing? Welcome in. Busting makes me feel good every time. Danny cheated on Rhea. Oh, Rhea Perlman, did he really? Little dickhead. Chevy Chase was horrifically racist on the Community set. Oh my god. That's proper bad, that, innit? What the fuck? Fuck Chevy Chase, man. What a little dickhead. Okay. I hate how much encroachment corporations are doing in the open source space. Yeah, it's fucked, innit? It's proper fucked. Right, okay. Here we are. What were we doing? We were looking at Slimer. We were looking at Slimer's best bits. Okay, I mean, I've been live for like an hour now, so we'll get started with the news in a minute. But let's check out Dan Aykroyd and Slimer and shit.
Beckman! Beckman!
I feel like this is like the first time they see a ghost as well, and it's just like Slimer, and he's the weirdest ghost. He's just scranning loads of fucking...
I'm gonna have to hold him myself.
Scranning loads of cereal. Chevy Chase was so racist on the Community set that Dan Harmon wrote it into the character and he basically didn't notice. What the fuck? That's messed up.
Come in, Ray.
Beckman! I saw it!
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at me.
He's an ugly little spud, isn't he?
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
That's how Ron DeSantis eats. Yeah, except for Ron DeSantis isn't eating like normal food. He's just like eating babies, right?
Beckman, what happened?
Hey, Oxpecker, how are you doing?
Slime me.
That's great! Actual physical contact!
Also, this is what happens if you come into contact with Ron DeSantis as well. Babies and what? Did you mean pudding?
Ceiling?
That's the one that got me.
Fucking Harold Ramis.
Ready?
Was Harold Ramis a weirdo? What did he ever do anything horrible? I bet Ron DeSantis eats pieces of shit.
I did that. That's my fault.
It's okay. The table broke the fall.
There's something very important I forgot to tell
He
you.
did Stripes. Hey, PM. What's Stripes?
Why?
Oh my god, yeah, the movie. Oh my god. You're on about a movie, right? Oh my god. I forgot that this fucking existed. He hated Bill Murray for decades. Yeah, he was probably okay, right? I forgot this movie existed. This is so fucking funny. It sucks so bad. Yeah, did he direct it? You couldn't believe how bad it was. I feel like I remember trying to watch this at one point because I was like, oh, it's the guys that did Ghostbusters. And it was proper bad. PJ Souls is in it. John Candy's in it as well, right? It's come up on Sporkle a few times, yeah. I think he wrote it. I don't know who directed it. Yeah, it's bad in it. If he wrote it, it's bad. Ivan Reitman. So yeah, because Ivan Reitman did Ghostbusters. Police Academy, but in an army base. Is that what it is? Yeah, that sounds bad. The story of a man who wanted to keep the world safe for democracy and meet girls. And it's like Bill Murray boner comedy, but doing imperialism. Ugh. Fucking hell. You watched Police Academy recently? I can't imagine that aged well. Fucking hell. Hey Val, more like Ivan Wrongman. You're right. He's wrong. Oh god. Yeah, it's super bad. Pretty sure the girls didn't want to meet them, right? There is so much military and propaganda, right, out there. It's so bad. Yeah, remember when sex crimes was an entire genre? Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Ironically enough, the asshole sergeant is the good guy in that, and all the main characters are irredeemable. Is that how it's supposed to be seen? Or is that like the actual view of it? Like, if you're like a normal person. Is like the sergeant trying to stop... Right, no, it wasn't supposed to be like that, right? Of course. The sergeant is like... trying to fucking stop these guys from like raping women. And they're just like, ah, Sarge, you're such a stick in the mud. Boing. Shit like that. I think you should react to that YouTube short about the pedo Michael Caine movie. Yeah, I already did that. I did that before you started tuning in regularly. I told everybody about that, but I guess there's new people here now. There's people who weren't here at that time, and there's also new people here now. So I guess I could do it, but like... Do you know about this film? Chat, do you know what she's talking about? Glass of wine. Did you know that there's a film where I play a paedophile? And it's like, it's just that. It's not even... Are we gonna watch it? We'll go back to Slimer because we'll need that, yeah? We'll need that after this. No matter how progressive my dad gets over the years, he has a hard time hearing the topic of propaganda. Yeah, it's bad, innit? I imagine there's several Sir Michael. Yeah. Whole Army's always been bad and have hidden a lot of shit. Yeah, you're right. Hell, you know, yeah, 100%. No, because we could just show the chat this, right? We could just show the chat. So is it on Shorts? You have to search on YouTube and Shorts. How do you like get just Shorts? Oh no, chat, have you heard about this? They like remade Naked Gun. Naked Gun has got some questionable things in it, right? Naked Gun has got some questionable things in it, but from what I know, most of the people involved were like, okay, obviously apart from OJ Simpson. But they've remade Naked Gun, and it's Seth Rogen and what's his face? Seth Rogen and Judd Apatow, maybe? Not him? I don't know. What the fuck is the... Nice beaver. It's not Seth MacFarlane, it's Seth Rogen. Did I say Seth MacFarlane? It's Seth Rogen. Liam Neeson is in it. He plays Frank Drebin. Why? Because recognizable IP in it. Recognizable IP. What we do, yeah, is we don't make art anymore. We just make things that people remember. Right? It's when Rogue One came out. Rogue One came out, and all the fucking Star Wars fans were like, oh, like there's loads of stuff in this movie that I remember, right? And it's just like you go in a film and you just watch things that you remember, and you're like, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that, I remember that, I remember, and it's just like you're just getting like dopamine for remembering stuff. Rogue One is great. No, it isn't. It's so bad. It's so bad, David. We can't be friends anymore. Do you know I walked out of the cinema for that film? Do you know that I did that? Unfollowed, unsubbed, request sub refund. I just hated it so much. I was like, this is so embarrassing. I just couldn't believe that, like, it was just doing like reference, and I'm like, why am I even watching this film? Like, why am I even watching it? What's the story? Force Awakens is like that. Listen, I've changed my opinion, yeah? I've changed my opinion on The Force Awakens. Force Awakens, Return, the Last Jedi, all those ones. I didn't even watch the Return of Skywalker or Rise of Skywalker, whatever it is, because I was just like, I'm just not going to enjoy that. I agree. I think that The Force Awakens is also that, right? It's also that. But I enjoyed it because at least there were characters that I could get behind. I enjoyed the idea of a stormtrooper being like, oh my god, what we're doing is fucked up, and joining the Resistance. I thought that was good. Yeah, I think that like Daisy Ridley's character is kind of the same as Luke Skywalker, you know, and obviously there's all the other references in The Force Awakens and stuff, but Rogue One just like turned it up to 11, and that's why I don't like it, because it just felt like a marketing thing, right? It just felt like a marketing thing. And it was just so like, right, Ezron, yeah, it felt very shallow. Like that's what it felt like to me. It felt shallow. Remember Star Wars? Anyway, listen, you're allowed to like what you like, but that's just my opinion, okay? Inside Mule's head is Rich Evans yelling ATSTs, ATSTs. That was actually what started me watching Red Letter Media. And then I stopped watching them when they fucking were laughing about a transphobic joke in like the most recent upload and shit. I was like, right, this is it. It's fucking game over. I'm not watching these fuckers anymore. It's just like such a joke. Anyway, I'm fucking done with the Red Letter Media crowd, honestly, and I'm thinking about making a video about them, because it's just like so frustrating. They just like consistently don't listen to their audience. Like their audience is made up of like a huge amount of trans people, and they make jokes about trans people all the time. They've said the T slur in like multiple episodes and shit. And it's like so frustrating because they seem to like be fairly progressive, and anyway, whatever. What were we talking about? Rogue One. That was what got me. That was what got me watching Red Letter Media, because I was like, yeah, these guys get it. It's just like the film about remembering stuff. It's just like a film of like, oh yeah, Darth Vader, and there's Grand Moff Tarkin, and there's that guy, and oh, this is a story about finding the plans to beat the Death Star, and it's just like, I just didn't need to know that. Like, I'm not bothered, right? Finn and that scene with the blaster bolt are the only parts of Force Awakens that still hold up as really good. The rest is literally just A New Hope. Right, yeah. That was the thing, right? I don't see the resemblance between Daisy Ridley's character and Luke Skywalker. I think that I'm just like, I think that in my head, I'm just kind of thinking on Tatooine, don't have any money, don't have any family. I mean, he gets his family killed, I guess. Well, he doesn't get them killed. They get killed. His family get killed, but they're not really his family anyway. They're his aunt and uncle. He doesn't know who his dad is. Whatever. Same way, similar story beats, right? She doesn't know who her dad is or whatever, and all that stuff, and that's kind of like a big part of her character. She's not really anyone, but she has the Force, and she meets someone who is like, oh, here's how you learn about it and stuff like that. I can't even remember if that happens, but yeah, it's basically A New Hope, right? And that's like her character is just like super Luke Skywalker-esque. Tatooine doesn't appear in Rogue One like at all. Wait, am I talking? Wait, what? Is Tatooine? You mean in Force Awakens? Tatooine's not in Force Awakens. Well, it's a desert planet, isn't it? Right? I see what's going on here from your tone. You're just a hater. I liked some of the new Star Wars films, but that's it. Hey Prince, how you doing? It's Jakku. Right, that's what I mean. It's just Tatooine. It's just like a different Tatooine. It's a desert planet. I don't know. I didn't like it, right? Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about this because I always remember it was always the worst thing of all time ever to bring up this stuff in a stream, because everyone has like the most deeply attached opinions to Star Wars. Actually, it's Desert Planet number 3256892. You're right. You're right about that. I'm so tapped out of the Star Wars chat. No, but that's kind of what I was saying, right? That we were talking about Naked Gun, and that's what it is. Someone was like, "Why are they doing Naked Gun, a remake of Naked Gun?" Because it's just like people don't go to watch movies that are art anymore. They will go and watch a film like, what was the film recently that came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's so slow. It's so slow and it's so bad." Like, what was it? This movie's shit and it didn't make any sense, and it was like a really good fucking film. They say it about most films nowadays. Most people who watch movies nowadays have had their like brain turned off, right? No, it doesn't narrow it down. Sorry. The thing is that this happens so recent, like so often. It happens so often, doesn't it? In movie discourse, like there will be people who are just like watching stuff like, I'm not going to say Rogue One. They're watching stuff like the Lilo and Stitch remake. They're watching the fucking whatever remake, the other re-release, the other prequel shit. All the prequels, all the remakes, all the IP bait kind of stuff. They watch all that stuff. And then they like watch a film that's original and it has like a great. Nah, it wasn't 28 years later, because that's sequel slop, isn't it? That's sequel slop. It was a good film, but it's still sequel slop. How to Train Your Dragon was remade, right? Exactly. That feels fucking crazy that happened. Like, I don't know. Parts of Rogue One that worked for me. I'm going to read Prince's chat message on my own and not read it out loud. Fair enough. That's my take to your chat message. Also, I missed someone in the chat earlier. Aimless Progeny, how are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Sorry that I missed your first chat message. There was a quiz the other day. It involved movies from 1995. There were so many blockbusters that year. They were all distinct movies. Yeah, it's just wild, right? It's wild. Like, where there's just no art anymore or anything like that. It's just so fucking frustrating. David actually did unfollow me, by the way, chat. when I was talking about when I was talking about Rogue One, and he followed me back. he followed me back when I saved it. I saved it. I was like, yeah, we shouldn't be talking about this. Everyone's got their own opinions. I'm crying. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, stick to your scruples. This is why I love you, man. This is why I literally rate. You should absolutely go and check out 27 Club's stream. Like, he's a great guy. I was like, why is it not working? But I wasn't. There you go. Go and show him some love. What were we doing? Oh yeah, the fucking Michael Caine. This isn't Michael Caine pedo movie, right? If I type this into my, is this a bad idea, right? The fact your initial take on the film aligned with red letter media may have been a red flag. You say they're nominally progressive aside from trans stuff, but they've kind of always been in my shittest category. What do you mean red flag? You're saying I'm a red flag because I had the same opinion as those guys on one movie. Oh, are you getting off? Oh, sorry. Fucking knew if you came in here, I wouldn't leave. I'm going back to my game. Love you, mule. Chat later. Oh, see you later, David. Yeah, everybody go follow him. Everyone go follow David. Everybody go and follow David. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you. Anyway, Sorka, listen, like I said, I'm fucking done with those losers, right? They're fucking dickheads. And I am absolutely gonna be... Oh, you found it? Oh, you actually found it? Oh, this is fucking mental. Oh my god, it's here. Oh my god, it's here. Oh my god, it's here. No, that's not what I meant. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Right, chat. Here's the thing that Han was referring to. It's mental. Oh, strap in for the... I'm gonna subscribe to this guy because he seems like he's got good takes. Okay.
Have to hear about this rom-com from the 80s where Michael Caine is doing it with an actual 17-year-old girl.
Make love to me.
Yep. There she is, taking out her retainer. Matthew and his wife are on a break, so he goes to Rio on vacation with his daughter, his best friend, and his best friend's daughter. Nikki and Jennifer are 17 years old. Now, the relationship between the fathers and the daughters is weird. It's just weird. They're always, like, naked, and they're like, Daddy, Daddy. Jennifer calls him Uncle Matthew.
Your father's so sweet. I used to have a crush on him. Me too.
So Uncle Matthew and his niece Jennifer are banging the whole movie, and this actress is actually also 17 when they filmed this, and she's naked the entire time.
I was just remembering the first time I kissed you.
It's cool that in it, chat, that in the 70s, yeah, in the 70s, you were just consuming child sex abuse material, basically. You were just like looking at naked minors. In the 80s, sorry, this was in the fucking 80s. Just like watching naked minors on the screen in the 80s with Michael Caine, and Michael Caine is like touching him like this and kissing him and shit.
It was at your christening.
So normalized. This is fucked up, by the way. Sorry. Can you like go back on a short? This bit is fucked. This bit is fucked. If you have a hazmat suit, put it on for this bit, chat, okay? Alright?
It was at your christening. Your mother was powdering your bottom. And I said I wanted to be the first man to kiss it. And I leaned over. And I did.
How dare you drive a tiny baby?
You're talking about kissing a baby that's not his on the ass. Talking about kissing a baby that's not his on the ass. Mossaway, did you know that I am a paedophile? Did you know that I was once in a film where I was a paedophile? What the fuck?
Maybe wild with desire.
No, they are so fucking sick for this. Like, this is some sick shit, man. It's the way she's obsessed with Michael Caine in this movie. Like, whose fantasy is this? It's not hers.
Right.
Her relationship with her dad is just as weird. He's like, I love it when my baby brings me coffee. They also have this weird pact where she has to call him right before she loses her virginity, so he knows she's doing it as she's doing it.
Jennifer, we had a pact. You were going to tell me first. At least call.
I know, Daddy.
Jennifer decides she cannot go on without Matthew anymore, so she tries to kill herself with birth control pills. And we learn that Matthew's best friend and his wife have been having a little affair of their own. And Matthew's like, well, I guess we're even then, man. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, nah.
I think one's worse, okay? You need to get your ass on a registry.
This comment is so good. What a terrible day to have ears. What a terrible day to have a brain. Like, I can't believe this shit, dude. Get it off my fucking screen. I'm so glad I didn't have to search Michael Caine pedophile movie in YouTube. So bad. Oh, God. 80s would have been a lot better if more minors were on the screen. We had to wait till the full Monty. Yeah, minors as in Minecraft. Good one. Brastoff. Palette cleanser from the 80s.
You will be brainwashed. Me, America's son. Ha! That will be a challenge. You bet. Our enemies are all those in league with imperialism. The bureaucrats, the big landlord class, and the reactionary section of the intelligentsia attached to them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What film is that from? Do you know, chat, does anyone know about the, does anyone know about this fucking film? So, Michael Moore, who did... Oh, no, it's not called that. Volunteers 1985. Right, thanks, Mia. I'm going to check that out. Right, Michael Moore. Yeah. Before he started to make serious documentary films about politics, he decided that he was going to make a silly Billy movie with John Candy, and it's called Canadian Bacon. Chat, when I tell you this is one of the worst films I have ever seen, I am not exaggerating. It is, and I've watched some fucking trash, right? It is so bad. Like, you can just tell that Michael Moore was not supposed to make comedies. He just wasn't, right? This film is so boring. The plot of the film, the cast is like ridiculous. It's Rip Torn, John Candy, there's a bunch of other people in there, right? And the whole shtick is America needs to get a war on the go because something happened in the Middle East where they can't be at war anymore. They made peace with Iran or something. They made peace with Iraq. I can't remember. And then they're like, oh, well, let's go to war with Canada. Let's go to war with Canada. That's the whole bit of this film, right?
We got ways of making... Have you seen the polls? It's not fair. I mean, every other...
Weasel's broken bottle says, are poor people just stupid? I mean, dirt poor. We spend so much on social security but can't fix stupid. What are you fucking talking about?
President had all of the...
What the fuck are you on about?
What have I got?
For an unpopular president.
The voters felt that your being alive or dead had no real bearing on their daily lives.
It's actually a real documentary. The plot of the movie is the Trump administration, yeah.
What are we going to do for an enemy now?
Oh, it isn't that they made peace. It's that they've killed everyone. It isn't that they've made peace in Iran. It's that they've killed all their enemies. Right, that's what it is.
Americans and Canadians broke out last night. Now, with a little inspiration,
All I said was Canadian beer sucked.
Give me 1 week and I'll have Americans burning maple leaves.
they'll create a cause worth fighting for.
Is Canadian Prime Minister Clark MacDonald a member of a satanic cult?
Oh, that is stunning.
Canadians are always dreaming up ways to ruin our lives. The metric.
He does look good with a beard, doesn't he, John Candy?
Captain Kirk of the USS Enterprise. Canadian.
Do not panic. I'm in complete control.
Welcome to Canada.
I'm your worst nightmare.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We got ways of making you pronounce the letter O.
What we have here is a brave but misguided group of...
Oi, listen, dickhead. I'm talking to you, not the fucking chatters. Answer my question. What are you talking about? We could fix the world so fast. If we blocked everyone making under 200,000 a year from voting. You live in a fantasy world, dude. You live in a fucking fantasy world. If you think in any way that we don't live in this world, the one that you're talking about here, yeah, you are far stupider than you think any poor person is. Right? Are you aware of a thing called a lobby? Are you aware of a thing called a corporate lobbying group? Are you aware of something called a think tank? Are you aware of things called the fossil fuel lobby? Right? Are you aware of all these things? Because all of these things are things that mean that people who earn over £200,000 a year or dollars or whatever actually have more of a say. They actually have more of a say in our democracies than any other working class person. It doesn't matter who they fucking vote for. Bring back feudalism, average person, too dumb for democracy. You're right, dude. You're right. We should bring back feudalism. Now you're in the chat dungeon for a week. Because you were speaking out against the king. You were making the king mad. You're making the king mad and you've been timed out for a week. I'll see you next week, pal, yeah? Out in a week. Yeah, you get your trial in a week. Maybe. Will it be a fair trial? Probably not.
Americans have gone right...
Yeah, you were right. Feudalism enjoyer. What the fuck? Feudalism enjoyer.
...into Canada and kick some serious Canadian butt.
You know that guy does not earn £200,000 a year, without a shadow of a doubt. No, it'll be far more annoying for him, Prince. It'll be far more annoying for him when he comes back next week and gets banned for another week, and then we keep doing that week after week. Because that's feudalism, right? If my chat is my domain, I can do what I want. And I could torture him if I want, right? Hey, Flying Mule, how you doing? Why does communism get a bad rap? Because the entire world has been abused and tortured by capitalism for decades.
Oh, Americans! Welcome to Ontario. Sportsman's paradise.
Isn't it, though?
John Candy.
There's a time to think, and there's a time to act. And this, gentlemen, is no time to think.
Alan Alda.
Surrender pronto, or we'll level Toronto.
Rhea Perlman.
I'm in Canuck Central.
Kevin Pollak.
I've been recommended Death in the Death of Stalin quite a lot, actually. Yeah.
And Rip Torn.
I can't kill America's neighbors.
Yeah, most people who hate communism don't know what's going on.
Of Roger and Me.
I think it's time we put the America back in North America.
Canadian Bacon.
My name's Mule 2. It certainly is. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Go before the invasion.
There can be only one. We'll definitely doing this for a movie night. David, it is so painfully unfunny. It is so painfully unfunny. Like, the characters aren't even interesting in any way, shape, or form. It's like there's no motivation for people other than, like, reactionary politics. It's so upsetting. It's really, really, really difficult to get through. Like, I found it so hard. I don't know. We might just have a different sense of humor in that regard, because it's just, I just found it so painfully unfunny. You know? Thank you for the Prime sub, Flying Mule. Really appreciate that. Thank you for subbing. Really, really appreciate that. Isn't actual communism like everyone puts everything in a pot and then we share it? Sounds lovely, right? Well, yeah, like, look, we have a system now whereby things grow out of the earth, right? Things grow out of the earth. This is the best way that you can explain it, right? Since time began, nature grew fruit from its loins, right? Fruit you can take from a tree without discrimination. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you are, doesn't matter what kind of political beliefs you have or anything like that. You can take fruit from a tree and eat it. Capitalism is when someone said, that tree is mine and you have to pay me for it. Communism is stopping that. Communism is like, you know, capitalists and conservatives are always like, yo, guess what? We need to go back. We need to go back. And what they mean is we need to go back to a time when slavery was acceptable and, you know, all that kind of stuff, and racism was acceptable, and, you know, colonialism and all this stuff. I mean, all those things still happen in different ways, but, you know, capitalism is like, let's go back. Let's go back. But really, actually, the people who truly want to go back, not to those evil things, to a time before slavery, like, you know, when slavery was just like unthinkable. Yeah. But anyway, I'm getting lost in this analogy that I'm trying to make. Obviously, it's like we need to get rid of this middleman. Do you know what I mean? The simplest way of explaining it is, since time began. Since time began. Let me take you to the beginning of time. Really easily explained if I just tell you the history of humanity, right? ANCAP's basically feudalist, but instead of a king, it's corporation. Yeah, look, I mean, yeah, look, ANCAPs are basically people who want what basically exists now. So ANCAPs are like, yeah, we should have a free market, but we have a free market. Everyone's like, oh no, there's too many restrictions on the market. But it's like there are huge conglomerate multinational companies that control fucking loads of different, like they bought, like think about Disney, right? What Disney has a monopoly on the sort of like the film industry and the movie industry all over the place. And it's like multinational corporations dominate entire supply chains. ANCAPs are just fucking idiots. ANCAPs are just like, yeah, we should have no rules, and that includes for capitalism, right? Capitalism should just be able to do whatever they want. And like a lot of the time you'll find out that the reason for that is because they don't like the age of consent and they want pedophilia to be acceptable again. Even though pedophilia is incredibly normalized in our society already, right? I do know the ANCAP song. Yeah. We'll have to get that loaded up if we get another hype train. Right? Renegade of Slack says, yet communism is basically middle management, the government. Not really, dude. Not really, dude. Communism is when the government does stuff. Yeah, they think they'll always be the top of the pyramid scheme. That's right. Right, listen, we're going to get into the news because I've been live for 2 hours and I've not even fucking touched it. And apparently we're going to watch this Cenk Uyghur on fucking Jubilee. Yeah, good. Great stuff. I guess Musk fits the ANCAP label. He got mad at Trump because Trump denied him electric vehicles, weakening his company. Hate to be that guy, but you need to do more reading. Why are you saying that? Is that not like... he's I guess he's not really an ANCAP, Musk. I think Musk is just like, I think Musk is just like a hyper-capitalist. I don't think he's an ANCAP per se. All right, chat. Let's get on with this stream. Right, so that's enough movie stuff. I guess we'll whiz through the news. Communism is when the government oppresses you. Oh my fucking god, shut up. Communism is when the government oppresses you. Yeah, man, that's what it is. Yeah, you're right, dude. I'm not a communist anymore. Great argument. Yeah, you did it. You did it, dude. You're so smart. Oh, yeah, you know what? I didn't think of that. Dog. You're right. I'm not a communist anymore. Yeah, good point. Good point. I'm a capitalist now. All right. What is happening? Where are these fucking losers coming from? What's happened? Is someone like, did someone retweet my stream or something and someone's getting mad? Is someone getting mad at the fucking like at my new video or something, and they've like retweeted my post and all the fucking landlords are getting mad? Nothing's happened. Nothing's popping off. It's just like two idiots. We're just like, yeah, man, let's go in this guy's chat. We're going to stop this guy from being a communist. We're going to stop all of these communists who are like proper read up on the subject. Like we know all about it. You know, we engage in organizing. We engage in unions, union action, all this stuff. Yeah, man, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to Cumster and Dumpster these guys. And they're going to immediately just be like, you know what, bro, you're right. You're right. I forgot that communism is when the government oppresses you. You're right. You're growing in popularity, so the worms are coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah. All I'll say about ANCAPs is that black and yellow looks pretty sleek. Right, listen, we're moving on. You don't have to hand it to ANCAPs. You could just like hand it to bees. Right, so chat, let's crack on with the news, but before I do so, don't forget, I do this for my full-time job now. Please consider subbing off Twitch. Please consider supporting the stream. You can do that by subbing off Twitch. You could go to the Streamlabs link in the chat. You can also sub on Twitch. I do appreciate subs on Twitch. You can give bits, yada yada. If you like, you can go to my promo tweet. You can retweet it. Go to the Blue Sky post. Han, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Matron. Enjoy your gifted sub. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. I love you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you for gifting a sub. Thank you. Yeah, you could go to the Blue Sky post. You can retweet that. You can, advertise the stream to other people. Head over to my YouTube. Head over to the pinned link at the top of the stream. That's going to be my new video. It comes out on Thursday. Please go and check that out. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go and do that. My new video is on Bastard Landlord Influencers. It's this little creepy guy called Kevin McDonald. He's a little dickhead. He's also a fucking racist. He's all kinds of horrible things. But he's a landlord influencer. So yeah, just like pretty embarrassing, right? So that's going to be an interesting video for all of you. So go ahead and do that. Also, please consider becoming a patron. And there is the call to action done. Let's hit up the news chat. So yeah, first bit of news we're going to get out of the way is this stuff about the UK Parliament Speaker of the House of Commons. So this guy, he's called Lindsay Hoyle. He's the guy in the House of Commons who goes order and all that stuff, right? And so this reporting from The National, which is a pretty good paper to be honest, is referring to a freedom of information request that was made to Lindsay Hoyle regarding his communications with Israeli politicians, right? So there's been a lot of speculation in the UK pro-Palestine scene.
Sonic will never again be a pain in my ass!
Aslan, thank you so much for the tenner.
Today was payday. Cash for comrades. Thanks for the streams.
Aslan, thank you so much for subbing off Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. I really appreciate that. £90. We're almost at £100. The halfway dono goal for this month, chat, is movie night. So we were just talking about a bunch of movies. We could be watching some extremely cool movies in the Discord. Yeah, at the end of this month, if we hit the halfway goal, which is 300 quid. So just consider that. Thank you so much for subbing off Twitch. Right. So there's a Freedom of Information request regarding this guy. People have been speculating for a long time about the interference of Zionists, Israeli politicians in the UK's government, in the higher echelons of UK government. It's pretty overwhelmingly been confirmed that this is the case, especially with regards to the case of the Filton 25, one of whom is my partner's best friend. My partner is in the chat, Barn Program. She was detained, arrested. She's being held on remand in Bronzefield Prison for taking action to stand up against the genocide that's happening in Gaza. You could check out more information about that by going to freeyulia.com. The link is in the chat. But in the case of the Filton 25, it has been pretty much proven at this point that the Israeli politicians in the Knesset and Israeli interference has meant that they were treated in such a way as they've been treated. So they've been held on remand in prison for a year without trial. There's very, very little chance of bail. They're being held on terror charges. This was before Palestine Action was a prescribed organization. So before they were even prescribed as a terrorist organization, they were simply being charged with terror charges, right? And pretty much everybody thinks that it's because of interference with regards to the interference from Zionist politicians, right? So now people have sent a Freedom of Information request to the Speaker of the House of Commons to find out what kind of correspondence he has had with Israeli politicians. So let's read this from the National here. So he has blocked the release of emails sent to Israeli politicians. Commons Speaker Lindsay Hoyle has personally intervened to block the release of emails he sent to Israeli politicians. Responding to a Freedom of Information request lodged by Declassified UK, the UK government said Hoyle was the individual who had chosen not to release written correspondence since October 2023 between himself and the Israeli Embassy, Labour, Friends of Israel, and members or officials of the Knesset, the Israeli legislature. The response said that Hoyle has formed the reasonable opinion that disclosure of the information would be likely to prejudice the effective conduct of public affairs. So what does that mean, chat? Annoying politician speak for just dog shit, right? It's, you know, people who have nothing to hide, they're not really doing stuff like this, right? They're not really saying things like this. Disclosure of this information would be likely to prejudice the effective conduct of public affairs. What he means is, if people found this stuff out, they will be pissed. Yeah? Hoyle previously visited Israel in November 2023 for a solidarity visit. Israel's ambassador to the UK, Sipi Hotaveli, shared a video clip of his visit online. He said, "Unless you witness and come here to see what's happened, you cannot imagine the atrocity that took place." In 2024, Hoyle was heavily criticised for allowing rules to be changed for the first time over a vote led by the SNP on a ceasefire in Palestine, saving Labour from a rebellion threat. So this is what happened last year. The Scottish National Party were literally like, hey, there should be a ceasefire. And Lindsay Hoyle intervened in that. Intervened in it to stop the government from facing a rebellion. It is clear bias from a person who is supposed to be neutral in the House of Commons. The Speaker of the House is supposed to be neutral. They're not supposed to have an agenda, right? House of Commons erupted into chaos as Hoyle selected both UK government and Labour amendments, making it the first time in 25 years that the move had occurred on an opposition day. The Clerk of the House confirmed, calling it a departure from long-established convention. Nearly 100 MPs signed a no confidence motion in the Speaker. This is like a quarter of all MPs. But a bid to have the issue referred to the Privileges Committee failed. Hoyle caused further outrage when he told SNP that they would have another opportunity to put forward a ceasefire motion, but this was not followed up on. So, this is the response. You asked to be provided with written correspondence since 1st of October 2023 between the Speaker of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, and the Israeli Embassy, Labour Friends of Israel, members and/or officials of the Knesset, the Israeli legislature. House of Commons holds information within the scope of your request. While we hold this information, it is withheld from release in accordance with Section 36 of the Freedom of Information Act. This is because the Speaker of the House of Commons, on advice from House officials, including Speaker's Counsel and Clerk of the Journals, has formed the reasonable opinion that disclosure of the information will be likely to prejudice the effective conduct of public affairs. All right? So that will be the legislation section that they're referring to, right? Section 36 FOIA provides absolute exemption in the case of House of Commons, and the public interest test does not apply. So this is just the government, the authoritarian government of the UK, again, being like, nah, no transparency allowed. You're not allowed to see within the confines of the Politburo. You're just not allowed to look in, right? It's good stuff, innit? Yeah, I forgot, actually. You know, we're living under communism, aren't we here, chat? It's communism because the government is oppressing us. Actually, we should just be happy that this is happening, shouldn't we? Because we're communists, and communism is definitely happening. It's when the government oppresses you. Yeah. Is that guy just gone? Was that guy just like so embarrassed that he left? By the way, like what happened with that guy? Are you here? are you still here? All right, whatever. You may, if dissatisfied with the handling of your request, complain to the House of Commons. Alternatively, if you are dissatisfied with the outcome of your request, you may ask the House of Commons to conduct an internal review of any decision regarding your request. Flying Mule said, who's the Speaker's boss? I mean, we are supposed to be the Speaker's boss. We are supposed to be the Speaker's boss. The people of Britain. They are supposed to be accountable to us. But as you can see, there are these bureaucratic layers which mean that no, we actually do not have the transparency that should happen in a democracy in this country. We just don't. And you know, Keir Starmer, absolutely super authoritarian, even more authoritarian than the Tories, but this has been the case for like a long time, right? I'm calling it, he's fired. Well, ideally, right? Hey, trans women, always a pleasure to have every trans woman in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. How are you? Thank you for lurking. So, piece of shit, disgusting, more examples of the UK authoritarian police state acting on behalf of a foreign entity. You know, people like liberals love to talk about when regarding the USA and Donald Trump, they love to talk about Trump is a Russian plant. They love to talk about Trump has Russian election interference, yada, 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 all this stuff, right? But constantly, foreign interference is coming from the Zionist entity all the fucking time, right? It's illegal occupation, trying to charade as a country, and the government of the world is just like, yeah, man, yeah, Israel, yeah, we could just do whatever you want, actually. When it's falling apart, by the way, when it is fucking falling apart, this is the joke of it all. This is how much people want to hang on to democracy. Like, Israel as a society is not doing great. Like, there's so many issues with the economy. There's so many issues with unrest, and it's not like unrest like people are unhappy with the government. That they love the fact that there is a genocide going on. They hate Palestinians. They want more of it to happen. You know, overwhelmingly, this is just the case in the, you know, so-called Israel. But there are so many different avenues of it. The Knesset is having so many arguments every day. Netanyahu is like having, you know, this court hearing going on. The IOF is suffering immensely at the hands of the resistance in Gaza. Al-Qassam, Saraya al-Quds are absolutely battering the IOF. Like we're talking about over 1,000 IOF soldiers dead. That's not just from Qaza. That's also from Hezbollah when they tried to invade Lebanon earlier. Was it this year? No, it was the last year. It's also from Iran. There were about 28,000 IOF soldiers who are injured at the moment. IOF soldiers are not being allowed to communicate with anyone that is outside of their unit about their unit's actions. They're not allowed to hear about what other units are doing. They're not allowed to hear about all the different things that are happening in terms of like the attacks, the operations that Qassam and Sarai al-Quds are, basically like doing against the IOF and having successful operations. Like the ratio of successful operations with Sarai al-Quds and Al-Qassam, the ratio of their successful operations to unsuccessful is like fucking, it's overwhelmingly successful, right? It's overwhelmingly successful. Wait, what the fuck? Trump threatens to seize control of Washington, D.C. and federalize the city. What? Crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. Local youths and gang members, so only 14, 15, 16, randomly attacking, mugging, maiming, shooting innocent citizens at the same time, knowing that they will almost immediately released. They're not afraid of law enforcement. They know nothing ever happens to them. This is all bullshit. I already know that all this first part of it is bullshit. But it's going to happen now. The law in DC must be changed to prosecute these minors as adults, lock them up for a long time, starting at age 14. He's just like, yeah, cool. Like Israel is always like killing babies, so we should do it in the UK a lot, in the USA loads, right? He's like, yeah, man, like it's time to murder children. It's time for the cops to be able to kill kids, right? Even though they can just do that. Anyway. He was on the roof of the White House today. Washington, D.C. must be safe, clean, and beautiful for all Americans, and importantly, for the world to see. I mean, overwhelmingly is that, right? When you think about D.C., you don't think about, like, oh my god, it's so gross and rubbish and, falling apart. I'm sure there are bad parts of D.C. and stuff, but, like, whenever I think about DC, like, all these words don't apply. Like, what is he talking about? Like, I know that it's not like a super affluent area. I know there are affluent areas of it, and I know that there are rundown areas of it for sure, but it's like just mental. Like, he's just chatting so much rubbish. Doesn't get its act together quickly. We have no choice but to take federal control of the city and run the city how it should be run and put criminals on notice that they're not going to get away with it anymore. He's pushing, right? He's pushing and pushing and pushing, yeah? He's pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to see what he can get away with. He's playing with power. Taking a little walk. What?
Mr. President, what are you doing up there? Taking a little walk.
What? What is happening? 8:30 a.m. Wait, what time is this? Okay, so this was like a few hours ago. Why is this news? I don't understand. Why is it news that he's on the roof? I don't get it. Like, has no one ever been on the roof? Do the people just not go on the roof? He's just doing whatever he wants, right? It's so strange. I think that like the best way to think about Trump, yeah, the best way to try and like figure out his psychology and all that kind of stuff is that he is like if a baby was a fascist. If like a toddler, maybe not a toddler, maybe like a 9-year-old or 10-year-old kid was a fascist, right? And all of a sudden found themselves in charge of the head of the empire of the capitalist world, yeah? He's just doing whatever he wants. He's like, yeah, man, sweet. Time to get on the roof. Diddler on the roof! Okay, that's good. That's good. It's just weird to be up there. No one can hear you, and there's not enough room to do anything. Wait, so he's doing a what? He's doing a press conference on the roof. It is weird to be up there. You're right. People thought he was being suicidal. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Just ain't no way.
You're looking good, Peter. Are you going to move up there?
What is he doing?
Hello, Peter. You're looking good, Peter. Are you going to move up there?
What is that? What is that? What's he doing? Is it Golden Dome? Or it's just too much. I can't be bothered with this fucking bullshit. Hey Monkey Sputum, how you doing? I've just realized as well that he asked me to put a hat on that I don't even think I have anymore. I do still. You can have a bit of that. Is he on coke? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If he was on coke, he would be way more fucking like sniffly and all shit like that. There you go. You wouldn't even know, would you? You wouldn't even know I was bald. Right. How you doing, Monkey Sputum, by the way? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm sorry earlier. I can't remember who fucking like chose the... I gotta get rid of that redeem because I don't have that hat anymore. This is wild. What if that guy's name isn't Peter? I mean, he could just say anything, right? He could literally just say anything. Thank you, Aimless Progeny. Yeah, my name's not Mule, my name's Dirty Tony. That's what the wig's called. I just think it makes me look like someone who would be called Dirty Tony, right? No offense to anyone who has hair like this. But, you know, just when I wear it, right? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Just a bit of a wheeler and a dealer. Right. Okay, well, thanks for that, trans women. That was weird. So, there's the bit about Lindsay Hoyle. We've covered that. Right. Now we're going to take a look at Nigel Farage apparently being completely fine with trans women being in women's prisons, and it's caused a whole fucking load of discourse in the UK. I'm not really certain about any of it. We just heard like a little bit of it when we were in Helena's stream last night when we raided her. So I don't really know much about this. I'm just learning about this now. So if anyone knows anything more about this, let me know, right? Because I don't know what the fuck is going on
Nigel Farage
with this shit.
To form UK's latest defections, as well as their latest updates on their criminal justice campaign.
Definitely think that we've caught the mood of the country with this campaign. All sorts of arguments over statistics, but what is beyond doubt is that there is a very strong and growing perception in the country that something is wrong all the way through from policing on the streets, right through the courts, and all the way.
You can have a hat and a wig, Stalker.
Well, among the defections were Rupert Matthews, the Police and Crime Commissioner for Leicestershire and Rutland, as well as the former prison governor, Vanessa Frake, who joins me in a moment. Now, Miss Frake has quite the CV, including being Rose West's prison governor, which caused controversy early today when she said this about trans prisoners. Well, I'm joined now by the woman of the moment.
Wait, what? Did they just cut this out? Yeah, the Angela Rayner shit is ridiculous as well. Yeah, I got it, Stalker. Hell yeah, here we go. This is a look, right? They just cut that interview out, and maybe it was because it was on another news network, and they would have got clapped for it on YouTube. I don't know. Also, I'm just seeing that like the boy is just like not that visible, and everyone should be able to see him. I just think that that's what communism's about, right? Oh no, sorry, it's when the government does stuff. Sorry about that. Excuse me. That's a movie podcast bro vibe. I mean, that is what I am, innit? I am that. Unfortunately, that's my problematic attribute. If Faraj has anything good to say about trans stuff, it's an act. He's trying to be a rhetorical wrecker. Yeah, I agree. That was my first thought, Sorka. Yeah, I was like, if he is saying anything positive, it is to make trans people look bad. Hold up a hot minute though, because I need to find out what this person has said.
Reform UK's Justice Advisor, Vanessa Frake. Vanessa, a pleasure to have you on the show.
Is he going to question her about this now? She's got a Frida Kahlo. What the fuck is going on here, man? This is Reform's new... She was a prison governor. She was the governor of a prison that had Rose West in it. And she's got like a Frida fucking Kahlo. Frida Kahlo would spit on this woman, right? Frida Kahlo would be like, you are not a feminist, you know that, right? I mean, we're not a Reddit country, the majority of us. It's just these fucking like super loud minority of people, right? It's so deeply, deeply, deeply frustrating. The majority of the UK are like completely oblivious to trans issues, and they don't understand how, how the material conditions of the world affect trans people, right? And when you explain it to people, they often just get it, right? Like, my mum voted Tory all of her life, yeah, even when like she wasn't living in a nice big house or anything. And my ex-partner is trans, and as soon as she like met her, she was just like, yeah, I just knew she was a woman. She's not anything other than a woman. But like, you know, my dad obviously had like horrific things to say about her and shit, which was just like deeply, deeply, deeply frustrating and annoying. Anyway, 1980s all over again, version 2, yeah. Thatcher would be so proud of Starmer.
Intended message. You clamping down on sentencing, on soft sentencing in prisons. You want super max prisons. You also spoke eloquently today about the blight, the issue of Islamic gangs in British prisons. Let's start with that.
She's an overwhelming fascist. She is an overwhelming fascist. She's got a... Chat, I'm not wrong, right? This is supposed to be a Frida Kahlo... Am I getting this wrong? Is this a Frida Kahlo fucking thing? Or is it someone else? Maybe it's someone else. It's not Frida Kahlo, is it? It's someone else.
Yeah, good evening, Martin.
I must be wrong.
I see. But look, our prisons are on their knees, whichever way you look at it. And something needs to be done. And reform work...
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe they should stop institutionalizing the working class. I don't know, maybe it was something like that, right?
To ask me for my opinions, and I gave them my opinions, and they then asked me if I would work with them. And you can sit back and say nothing and just moan about it, or you can stand up and be counted.
Easy mistake. It's actually free to people.
The more people that stand up and be counted, the better, in my opinion. And
what are you on about?
I accepted their offer.
And
what is she fucking talking about?
We're letting people out of jail too soon, that sentencing is too soft. We often hear that life should mean life, and it does not. And all of this, Vanessa Frake, has precipitated a lot of trust in the British prison system.
Fascists do love repurposing these things, right?
Well, I can have a good try at it. I think, public confidence is at an all-time low within our prison system. We see it as a two-tier justice system where some people are treated fairly or many are treated unfairly. You have...
Right. Who is she going to be referring to about people being treated unfairly? Is it going to be the people that I mentioned, like our friend Yulia, who has been held on remand, treated guilty until proven innocent, no trial, no chance of bail or anything like that, for over a year for allegedly something as unserious as, burglary and trespass, right?
Somebody who made a stupid tweet who gets 31 months, and then you have some.
Right, she's talking about the fash, a stupid tweet that gets 31 months, a fascist who was saying we should murder migrants, right? No, it's not. Why? It's not Jonathan Frakes' wife. It's absolutely not. It's absolutely not.
Who had sex with a child under 16, getting a suspended sentence. Well, that can't.
Well, what you're referring to is rape. And yeah, that is certainly a problem. And it is certainly something that happens, right? It's certainly something that happens. But how do you prevent crime? Chat, we already spoke about this. You prevent crime, which is the right way to do things. It's not about putting people in cages and, making them suffer and torture them and all that kind of stuff. Deprive them of sunlight, deprive them of mental stimulation, physical stimulation, exercise, all that kind of stuff. You prevent things. You give people good material conditions, a good start in life. You educate kids about what sexual assault is so they can better understand it, so they can better understand if they're about to be abused or if they're about to be taken advantage of. It's just like they just don't give a shit about any of these kinds of conversations. They're just like, yeah, nah, more prisons, bigger prisons, make the entire country of Britain a prison. Yeah, sick.
And I am a firm believer. Now, if I could just correct you on the Supermax prisons. I didn't say Supermax prisons. I said a Supermax regime. Many of our high security...
That's what they do. That's what they're saying. She's like, Supermax regime. Britain should be a prison.
Estate prisons can be reconstructed to offer a Supermax regime. That is prisoners who spend 23 hours a day behind their doors. They're handcuffed when they come out, escorted by 3 staff and a member of staff with a patrol dog. They are experienced staff to deal with these manipulators and aggressors.
Is she saying that this stuff doesn't happen? Politics is a joke, man, right? This person is saying, I'm going to be the crime and justice minister for Britain if Reform get elected, right? That's the position that she is taking, yeah? And she is saying, what we're going to do is we're going to have these huge prison reforms where basically prisoners are only allowed out of their cell 1 hour a day. That is currently the case. Yeah? So basically what's happening is, because no one in Britain has any idea about what happens in prisons, they don't understand this shit, yeah? They don't understand that, like, the things that she's saying. Everyone in Reform will be like, yeah, sick, it's good that should happen. Yeah, sick, it's great that should definitely happen. It is happening. It is. That is the way that the prison system has worked since fucking COVID. Since COVID started. We fucking spoke to Prisoner Solidarity Network on Red Planet and they were like, yeah, when lockdown happened, the fucking prisons took that as a decision to fucking keep the lockdown regulations for prisoners forever. They're just doing it forever. It's crazy to just be like, yeah, I'm going to do this thing that already happens. Like, what a fucking joke, man. What a joke of a joke. And she knows that. She knows this. For a fact. She knows this because she used to be a governor. So she will know people in the prison system already. It's such a fucking farce. Honestly, it winds me up to fuck.
Staff, and that's what I'd like to see. I don't want to see appeasement of the likes of Ruda Cabana and Hashim Abedi that murdered 20 innocent people at the Manchester Arena, letting them have access to their own cooking utensils and cooking their own meals, and the ability to throw boiling oil over a prison officer and stab 2 other prison officers untold times. I don't want to see that.
Well, what you should probably do is you should probably tell the screws to, like, stop torturing people, right? No, her brain is not cooked. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. Like, this is what I mean. It's all just like a farce and a scam. This is just like a laugh for someone like this. It's like, hell yeah. Like, so what you're telling me is that, like, I just have to tell the people of Britain that I'm going to bring in policies that will change something that to what we're already doing. So nothing will change. We won't need to do any work. And that'll be like a really popular policy. It'll be really popular for our campaign. Great, I'll do it. How much am I getting paid? Oh, right. Fucking £90,000 a year. That's pretty good. That's better than what I was on previously, right? You know what I mean? Probably more than that, right? Because she'll be a minister. You know? I think people should experience shit for at least a year before making a decision on it. Want to make the lives of incarcerated people even worse? Gotta be in prison for a year. Want to defund the NHS and work as a nurse? Right. Exactly. It's just completely fucking mental.
I believe that every prison officer who, let's face it, does a very, very difficult job in very difficult circumstances, they have the right to go to work and knowing that they will go home at the end of the day safe to their family.
Did she say police officer? Prison officer, okay, all right.
I believe that every prison officer who, let's face it, does a very, very...
Did you know that prisoners get PlayStations and footballs? Like, yeah, it just doesn't happen. It's like, you know... Right, my partner in the chat, Barn Program, visits her friend in prison every fucking week, right? And like she says, she was in the fucking airlock and they made a rape joke. Like, we're talking about prison officers in a women's prison, right? Sick. Screws spend most of their shifts sitting on their ass in their office. Right, exactly. Because they spend all their fucking energy beating the shit out of fucking prisoners.
Job.
Mentally, physically, spiritually. What they do in some prisons, yeah, when someone is having a mental health crisis because they've been locked in a cell all fucking day with no stimulation, it's extremely fucking loud, you sleep on a fucking plastic thin thing, you know, it's torture, and they have a mental health crisis, probably because they're not getting the meds that they need, and they're banging on the fucking door and shit. They open that cell and they blast them with a fucking fire hose. That's a legit thing that fucking happens, right?
Have the right to go.
ACAB includes screws, absolutely.
Home at the end
1000%.
Safe to their families.
And this is why this shit is so deeply frustrating, because, you know, these fascists are just like, oh, right, well, we've lied about prisons for years, about how they get PlayStations, they get to do all this stuff, they get to do all these things, and like, you know, oh, I don't believe that prisoners should have these freedoms, and yada, yada, yada. They don't have them. Like, you made it up. So it's like, right, well, we're going to do all this stuff and like say that we did it. Well, we're not going to do anything. We're going to say we did all this stuff and it'll just be the same and no one will notice, because the average person just like, you know, well, not the average person, because the average person probably will experience prison or like a visit to a prison or some regard, or will know someone who's gone to prison. But like the people who are going to vote for reform, who are privileged, middle class, petty bourgeois business owners, they don't experience any of that shit. So they're just going to be like, yeah, fucking brilliant, like just eat it up, right? And it's just like such a racket.
We have to address the issues, of course, that have been seized upon by your political opponents, by the press today, and that is the topic of trans prisoners. The Supreme Court ruling states quite clearly, biological men are men, they can't become women. Even Shabana Mahmood, the Justice Secretary, has said that no serious trans woman, that's a biological man, could ever be allowed into the female.
Look at the way that they like trip over themselves when talking about this shit, man. Like, yeah, you have to say trans woman because they're women, right? They can't even like they're desperately trying to live in this reality that isn't real, and it's pretty difficult, actually.
Prisoner state, and yet today you said this should be judged on a case by case basis. Vanessa, are you going woke?
No, I am not going woke. Is treating people with humanity woke, Martin? What if it was your daughter or your son? Look, I'm incredibly disappointed that I've been so misconstrued. I have never suggested that I would ever put any at-risk prisoner into the general population, and nor did I ever suggest that putting a prisoner who is a risk to other prisoners in the general population. That is why I've been very clear. There are many complex, bespoke prisoners and risk assessments which are completed by skilled, experienced prison staff on a case-by-case basis is the way forward. At the end of the day, Martin, we are talking about 0.3% of the prison population.
Right. This is fucking mental. This is fucking mental because probably, I don't know, man. I don't know what's made her have this like bit of like humanity here, where she is such a psycho-fascist that she's like, nah, it's really, really good actually that we have all this like extremely punitive carceral attitudes toward prisoners and shit like that, and then like somehow she has this like shred of humanity for trans women. You know, if they were put into a men's prison, like the actual suffering that they would experience, you know, it's contrarianism. If they agree with Labour about something, it fucks with their rhetoric. You might be right. You might be right. It's got to be that, right? It has to be that. Because she can't have humanity for people. She can't have humanity for prisons if she thinks that, like, if she thinks that every single prisoner should not be allowed out for 23 hours a day, and that she knows that is already happening, and she's just like not that bothered. Yeah, they will. They'll flip. They'll flip. It's a ruse. You're right. We shouldn't be taking these people seriously whatsoever, right? There's no way.
I'm focusing on the other.
But it's crazy, right? It's crazy that even the Green Party, I don't think, has like a solid pro-trans message right now. I mean, it might change if Zach Polanski gets elected. I mean, it probably would change if Zach Polanski gets elected because, you know, Richard Tice said on Twitter, yo, hey Zach, can a woman have a penis? And Zach was like, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Right? And it's crazy that like this one person in Reform has like this fucking like take on trans women, which is like, yeah, actually, like they shouldn't be put in men's prisons. Like mental. But like you say, it is. We need to have some humanity about respect to the gender identities of our torture victims. Is not a coherent take, though. Clearly, GB News isn't prepared to go along with the line. Right. Yeah. They can't think about us without thinking about that, without our junk, so they have to freak out about what that means to them. Yeah, you're right.
99.7%. I have worked with female offenders. I have seen the abuse that they have suffered. I would never, ever put a female offender in a position that brought back any angst or worry or concern to a female prisoner. Can I make that perfectly clear?
So I just want to spell that out once again. You do not believe, for example, that a biological man who now claims to be a woman, a trans woman with a history of sex offending, they should never be allowed into a female prison estate. Is that your position?
That is absolutely crystal clear, my position.
Right, okay, so that's how she gets around it, right? That's how she gets around it, because they just think that every single trans person is a sex offender. Right, exactly. They're just referring, they are just, that is the line, that's the fascist line, every single trans person is a sex offender. So that's how she's getting around this gaff or whatever? Okay, so now we actually know what is happening and why it's happened. Yada, yada, yada. Fuck this shit. Okay. That's the news. Hey, Muhanga, how you doing? Either that or they're moving to create special sex offender prisons they can eventually try and put all queer people in. Yeah, true. That could be it. I mean, the Republicans kind of took a leaf out of the movement that was funded by evangelical Christians in the US in the UK. the TERF movement. They kind of took a leaf out of that book straight away. As soon as they saw how effective that was dividing the queer community, you know? I mean, I would argue it hasn't really divided the queer community. They think it has. They're like, yeah, the think tanks are saying that this is really good. It's really working. I mean, all that it's resulting in is that there's just more violence being committed against trans people, particularly trans people of color, right? And there was already an overwhelming amount of violence committed against trans people of color. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's where we're up to. I guess we covered the bits of news there. Trans women said something about, what is this, Trump? We have like an extra bit of an update on this. On the Trump shit. Trump is presented a full set. When was this? Trump is presented a full set of Olympic medals.
No, we don't have trophies in the Olympic movement, but as you know, 1984 hosted the Olympics in Los Angeles, right? And someone we admired, President Reagan, both of us, presided over those, and you will preside over our games. So we have for you a full set of the 84 original medals. Wow.
Why? Wait, what? Trump signs executive order creating task force ahead of 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. What? A task force for what?
Can I say that I won them athletically?
Yes, sir.
That would be a great honor.
We don't have trophies in the Olympics.
Right. Cool, normal stuff, man. Oh, mamma mia. All right, chat. From one absolutely horrific bit of brain rot to the next. Here it is. Yeah? Here we go. Where are we up to? I need to know how few views it has first. It's got 1 million views. It's got 1 million views. So when did it come out? 2 days ago? That's good. It's better than the Mehdi Hassan one, right? Aslan, I forgot to give you a shout out. Everybody go follow Aslan, please. Legend. Oh, I really want to play that, Aslan, that fucking Peak game. It looks sick. We should organize a gaming stream. Chat, if we hit the £600 dono goal this month, I'll do a gaming stream and we'll do Peak. Me and like a couple of community members will play that Peak game, right? How about that? It looks proper fun. I really want to play it so bad. Yeah, give the streamer money. That's right. What Raven Payne said. Right, okay, so here we are, chat. It's Jubilee again. We got Cenk Uygur here. If you don't know who Cenk Uygur is, Cenk is one of the main newsreaders on the Young Turks. He started the Young Turks, I believe. The Young Turks is it's like a fucking centrist, moderate right, moderate left news source. It's got Anna Kasparian on it, you know, great on things like Palestine, terrible on things like trans rights. You know, a varied amount of reactionary stuff with some, with like a dusting of progressive things in there. The Young Turks was, back in the day, decently progressive. And if you know Hassan, which most of you will know, he was on the Young Turks when it was good. And arguably it's because of his content. Like his content, I think it was called Agitprop or something, and he was just like doing communist Agitprop. That's how he got his leg up with streaming and stuff, right? Yeah, Cenk is Hassan's uncle. Yeah. So this guy is Hassan, the big streamer on Twitch, the big politics streamer on Twitch, his uncle. If you don't know who Cenk is, please just go enjoy your life. Well, no, it's not necessarily just for us broken people. It's not. Like, again, this is going to be another Jubilee is bad, right? It's going to be another Jubilee is bad and needs to be destroyed stream. That's the whole purpose of me watching this. It's to be like, hey, just to remind you, debate sucks. The concept of debate was always bad. Even back in the day, who was the guy? Socrates? He just used to like say point after point after point after point after point after point so that people would agree with him, just so he would shut up, right? Socrates, yeah. Socrates. And then Hegel made it even more annoying, talking about, you know, dialectics and what have you. The only real thing that you should be looking at in terms of how to converse about actual materialism is dialectical materialism, where you have a reasonable discussion with someone, where you're not trying to win. You're going, hey, doesn't it suck that we all don't get paid the same? Doesn't it suck that I'm getting paid £500 an hour and you're getting paid 3 pence an hour or whatever? I don't know. Unlikely that would happen under capitalism, right? There's no CEO that's going to sit there and be like, it's bad that happens. But you might have a conversation with your co-workers that's like, hey, you know how much the boss makes an hour? 5 billion quid. Damn, we should unionize, right? That's dialectical materialism. Debate is where you're going, my ideology is better than yours. And you're not really talking about material conditions. You're talking about ideology. It's Hegelian, right? I'm starting to learn about this philosophy crap, chat. I'm starting to really learn about it. So, yeah, Socrates was the original debate, bro. Yeah, literally. So with that in mind, let's think about Cenk. Cenk is a populist. He tried to run for the presidential election last year, made absolutely no fucking progress whatsoever. At all. Prince is right. TYT used to be centre-left. It's been moving slowly right for years. It's at best centre-right, but not quite Republican. Yeah. Okay? Lives like a populist every day. Yeah. Philosophy crap is important, actually. No, it is. I'm being flippant because I'm an ADHD himbo that doesn't read that much. But I'm getting better, right? Anyway. I'm not being anti-intellectual. I'm not. So that's who Cenk is. He's a populist. He, has a really good pro-Palestine stance, but, is not really thinking about organizing. He's not really thinking about unionizing. He's not really thinking about all the things that actually build proper political power for working people and stuff like that. He wants to be a populist. He wants to become the president. I don't know. He's a politician, right? He is a politician. So
we've tried establishment Democrats.
He's now going to be debating. We're going to watch him debate a bunch of Democrats who might be Kamala, blue MAGA freaks, and Republicans who might be MAGA freaks, right? So it's just going to be blue MAGA, red MAGA. He's going to be debating right-wingers, essentially. Debating conservatives, but he's also a conservative. So this is the game of American politics. It's the lie of democracy, folks, right?
Tried establishment Republicans, complete failures. We tried fake populism under Donald Trump, complete failure.
I disagree.
So the only thing we haven't tried is left-wing populism. And you say, don't try it. Go back to the establishment Democrats.
Thank you, Tariq Abori. Also, hi.
Democrat and then say that, well, because they still support the rich and the rich still get all the tax cuts, I'm still going to cast my vote, which is the most powerful political weapon you have, to the very establishment that you're trying to tear down.
Already, there's so much wrong going on here. Your vote is not the most powerful political tool that you have. The most powerful political tool you have is... What is it, chat? What is it, chat? Withdrawing your labor.
Weird to mention guardrails against firing people when you rejected a union at your company and fired somebody for organizing.
Yeah,
okay, whoa, we got a based communist in here. What?
That is absolutely not true. You can say that if you like.
That is true. Look it up.
Fine. So
let's look it up. Did Cenk prevent TYT staff unionizing? Progressive firebrand. I mean, this is Politico, so not a great source. But I mean, is there another source? HuffPost, sure, not great still. But you know, in a tense meeting with employees, Cenk Uygur argued a union doesn't belong at a small news network struggling to make profits. What a terrible argument! What do you mean? What do you mean, dog? Like... Control F fired? Oh, it isn't in here. It isn't in here. So he did fire people, right? Yeah, there are going to be some base Democrats who are tactical voters. That's true. That's true. His talk, at times emotional, the staffer said, with Uygur throwing his papers to the ground at one point and chastising an employee, seemed to contradict the progressive worker-first ethos that CYT broadcasts to its millions of lefty followers. Jack Gerard, who's acting as the company's chief operating officer as Uygur runs for Congress in California, told the staff they were not discouraging unionization. All right. And there you go.
So since you smeared me, let's explain. Hi,
since you smeared me,
I'm Cenk Uygur. I'm host of the Young Turks, live weekdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
Like, here's the thing. A small news network should be a cooperative, right? Chat, that just makes sense, right? I'm not even... Wait, you mean Benny? He fired Benny. I thought Benny left because of Anna's fucking, like, transphobia. No, Ben is not gay is a different person. I don't know who that is.
I'm also the head of the TYT network. I'm also founder of Just Democrats, Wolfpack, and Rebellion Pack, where we're trying to bring the country together. And here I am surrounded by 20 Democrats and Republicans, and I'm going to try to bring them together.
I'm going to try and bring them together. Uygur urges employees not to, as he stated, TYT small and medium will endanger its financial viability. However, the network supported its workers holding a secret ballot to unionize. Bonnie left for another... Oh, she changed her name to Bonnie. Sorry.
Issues and try to divide us.
Didn't know.
Distract us with culture.
Bonnie left for another reason. Right, I was going to say, yeah. So Ben is not gay? Who is that? This person on Twitter? Nah, it can't be, right? 260 plus followers? I don't know who this person is. No, I know who Bonnie is. I know who Bonnie is.
How are you, Cenk? Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
My name's Oliver.
Hey, Oliver.
Yeah. So I guess the first place I want to start off with your claim is to first say that I think there's a grain of truth in it. And I think I would largely agree that when it comes to the system of neoliberalism, the system of capitalism, I think there can be a lot of overlap. I think where I would probably push back a little bit is when we look specifically.
Seeing tendencies in society and where they come from, dialogue and dialectics have different meanings. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're wrong, because as I said, I'm a himbo. So, yeah, if you want an actual definition of dialectical materialism, Magic Mia, just put it in the chat. I'm not good at describing what that is. Having a dialogue and chatting about things where you figure out tendencies in society and where they come from is what I was getting at, but you wrote the wrong name probably. Right, yeah, so you're referring to Bonnie, right? Okay, gotcha. Right, so she wasn't fired by Cenk, but...
at what policy issues get passed and how they affect people, there seems to be a very big difference. So, for example, under the...
Oh, no, yeah, the whole thing, the thing about running to the chair is ableist as shit. You have to have athletic prowess to actually be able to say what your opinions are and not have Cenk listen to them.
Biden administration, we saw with the expansion of the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid, we saw over 8 million people become eligible for Medicaid who were previously not eligible. If we contrast that right now with what's in Trump's big, beautiful bill, over a 10-year period, that would make between 15 and 16 million people ineligible for Medicaid. So it seems on a crucial economic issue that affects people's ability to survive, have quality health care, live quality lives. There seems to be a stark contrast. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on that.
So where I would disagree is the word stark. So I understand there is a contrast. That's why I vote Democrat.
He's doing Jordan Peterson already. Are you joking me? What do you mean stark?
But these are giant buts here. So first of all, they say on Medicare, we should negotiate drug prices. The Democrats say, and then they never deliver. They didn't even try to negotiate drug prices other than on insulin and maybe 10 other drugs. And you go, well, that's pretty good. No, that's 10 drugs out of tens of thousands of drugs. At a maximum, it's only a $6 billion savings, when in reality, what we actually would do if we negotiated the drug prices is several $100 billion in savings. So what I'm saying to you is, while the Democrats do some things that are positive, they do it almost as a release valve. So they go, okay, here's another example that you mentioned, the Affordable Care Act. You know what it was called before it was called Obamacare?
You can enlighten me.
Yeah.
Romney was a plan that was tried in a Republican state.
Exactly. It was called Romney Care.
Yeah.
And you know who came up with it? The Heritage Foundation, the same people who came up with Project 2025.
Okay.
That is a corporate release valve so that people don't build up too much pressure and go to a rebellion.
This is already a much nicer vibe, a much more respectful vibe than the fucking Mehdi Hassan one. Like, my nervous system was gearing me up for that shit, right? It was gearing me up for like a horrible, horrible, horrible experience where I was going to be like this the entire time. You know what I mean? But Cenk's not really saying anything that I disagree with at the minute.
Or a revolution. But in the bottom line is, that was a tiny, tiny little fix thought of by a right-wing think tank. And then now when you say negotiate drug prices, Obama never did it, even though he ran an ad called Billy where he said he was going to do it. Biden does at most 6% of it. The Democrats are constantly doing 5 to 10% as a little release valve, but keep the machine going exactly as it is.
And we can totally agree that there should be more that's done. I guess maybe I was taking your claim too literally, which is that Democrats and Republicans agree on economic issues, and maybe there's a qualify in there. Is it largely agree? Is it mainly agree?
I think the main claim is going to be proper contentious, right? They try and divide and distract us with culture wars. He's going to say something along the lines of, "Yo, we can't be focusing on trans people. That's silly. It's a culture war thing, right?" I feel like that's going to be the fucking contentious shit that comes up in this one, and it's going to fucking annoy the shit out of me. Mild neolib versus mild neolib, but he shifted. Hugh shifted. I don't think it's going to be particularly spicy. Right, yeah. Democrats and Republicans are bought by the same donors. We know all this, right? Yeah, Cenk, why not make Farm FC part of the state? This is the one circumstance where the Jubilee format makes sense. I mean, this guy is clearly a Democrat. He's going to be more respectful. Cenk is being respectful to him back. Maybe he's going to speak to a Republican in a minute and they're just going to be like insane and just like yell and start talking about like fucking secret cabals or whatever, or the deep state. I don't know.
It's not 100% agree. Otherwise, it would be too obvious. But is it true that they largely agree? Of course. So I'll give you many other examples. Paid family leaves at 84%. Yet the Democrats never seem to be able to pass it. Why do they never pass it? Because they're not trying. They said they do the public option. Joe Biden didn't even announce them, introduce the public option. Why? Because they agree with Republicans.
Well, I don't think they agree with Republicans necessarily. I just think that sometimes it's hard to pass legislation.
You're living in cloud cuckoo land. You're living in cloud cuckoo land.
In a bitterly divided Congress. Would you acknowledge that?
Someone asked his opinions about Armenians in this one.
See, that is the number one excuse Democrats use. Oh, golly gee, there was nothing we could do. And they sing, there was nothing we could do. There was nothing we could do. In reality, he didn't even try.
What the fuck was that? What was that?
For the public option, Biden. He didn't introduce it. So that pulls at over 70%. Why not try?
Sure.
$15 minimum wage. The Republicans didn't take that out of the bill.
They get softballs for people that they think are centrist like Cenk. Yeah, you're right.
Intent. And the intent is he actually agrees with the donor class and the Republicans. He doesn't want those things. If you can't pass a bill at 84%, then are you saying the Democrats are the most incompetent politicians in history?
I'm not saying they're the most incompetent party, and I'm also not saying they're perfect. I think that we risk running into an issue where we equate the two parties as being virtually the same, which leads people to not voting whatsoever at all. Because
this is so dead. It's such a dead bit of power. I hate people who say this. It just means that people are not gonna vote. The thing that makes people not vote is when no policies are presented that affect the working people who would normally support the Democrats under pretty much every other, under every other scenario where the Democrats have been like, oh, well, what we're going to do is this like tiny little bit. It's like Cenk saying, like, he's right. Like he did like cook with that shit. Where he was like, yeah, there's like a bit of a pressure valve, and then they get into office and they actually don't do as much as they said they were going to do, or they don't do it at all. It's like the Roe versus Wade stuff. That's what I always think about when I think about Democrats, and when I think about how useless Democrats are in the and just the U.S. electoral system in general, how it's like a joke of democracy. They were like, yeah, Roe v. Wade, so good. It's so good for women and people who can have babies. Right? I hear this equating them makes them not vote all the time, right? And it's like, here's the thing. If there was a party in the USA, and you can always point to someone like Zoran for something like this. You could point to Zoran for something like this. You can even point to the mayor of New Jersey, who I don't think is as progressive as Zoran. Maybe it wasn't the mayor of New Jersey. No, I'm thinking of the mayor of Baltimore. Right, the mayor of Baltimore had decided, right, we need more social programs for young people, and he is reduced homicides overwhelmingly in Baltimore because of that. Yeah, when people have actual policies, people are like, sick, let's go. And Zoran effectively got a landslide, but they're not reporting on that because it would be like, it would just bring the whole system down. They would be like, oh, fuck, actually, these policies are so popular. It's so popular. And that's it, right? Like, the Democrats will just be sat there and they'll be like, yeah, nah, actually, we're not going to do these things that are really important to the working class. We're just going to like say, yeah, whatever. Roe v. Wade, let's codify Roe v. Wade, and then they get into office and they just don't do it. It's like, even when they have a majority of the House, right? It's not even like, oh, we don't have the House. When they had a majority of the House, it's like, oh... Zoran, Sanders, AOC, at the beginning of each of their careers, people were falling over themselves to vote for him. Right, exactly. And like, yeah, you can sit there and you can say, oh, well, you shouldn't even support those guys because, AOC is a Zionist now and Bernie Sanders is a Zionist now. Yeah, sure, these politicians will get corrupted, but they run on popular policies that pushes the Overton window left. That's a good thing, overwhelmingly. And, sorry, not House majority, like, you need a filibuster-proof Senate, right? Okay, yeah, you need shit like that. But that's the thing. A fucking Democrat majority, a Democrat president could sign a fucking executive order that would be like, we need to stop filibusters from happening. There needs to just be a law that says you have a certain amount of time to talk about your point on the Senate floor, and that's the end of it, right? Sanders and AOC have deflated because they became more mainstream. Yeah. I think that they've become comfortable. They've got like a lot of money. They're in the political elite now. It's that, right? Yeah, sorry, you're right. Bernie Sanders was always a Zionist. He's always been a liberal Zionist, yeah. He might have even been a full-on Zionist back in the day, probably. But yeah, he's always been a Zionist. But I guess like, AOC is who I'm referring to in that regard. But like, again, it doesn't even matter because it's like, here's the thing. You do these social programs. It's like the mayor of Baltimore that I was saying earlier. Like, all you do is you increase some social safety net policies for people in the place where you're in charge that you have power to have control over. that you have power to change, and it makes people's lives better, and everyone goes, damn, this shit is good and it works. And then just that little bit is enough to make people go, we could do far better than the Democrats. And I think that there is just missing this huge thing of this electoral politics stuff where, and this is why it's frustrating that Cenk is a union buster, right? Because Cenk, if he was actually going to do anything really truly progressive, he would be talking about here about how it's important to have unions, how it's important to have organizing behind a vanguard party, and that is truly how we make change in the world. We can use elections to build a movement. Right, exactly. That's right, Mia. You have to use it for what you can use it for. There's no point in being sat there and being a doomer and being like, you know, I've seen so many armchair fucking communists say things like, Zoran is a liberal Zionist, and oh, he said that Israel should exist and it should never exist, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, man, you go to the black trans woman living in New York City who can't afford to get the bus across town to get the HRT that she can't afford, even though she's doing sex work to try and afford it. You go to her face and you tell her that she's voting for a liberal Zionist and she's scum and she should die for the revolution, actually, right? Right. It's stupid to have a take like that. It's stupid to, you know, talk to people who want these like material conditions, talk down to them and be like, nah, you are like scum actually for voting for this person and wanting a better life, even though the better life might not come. You know, like the people who are saying this stuff are not even, they're not even talking about like how people should organize. They're not organizing in communities like that. They're not going into communities like that and helping them with their material conditions and helping them organize. They're just sat there and being like, no, everything is going to fall apart and we should all just watch it fall apart. And you should never be excited about anything ever. We should never have any hopium. We should never think anything's ever going to get better. Just sit there and be like, haha, we were right. We're communists and we were right. You can do that. You can be like, haha, we're communists and we were right. But also just not be a fucking doomer. You can still do that.
They think the whole class is against them, and I'm in complete agreement with you that the two-party system is fundamentally broken, and that Democrats in a lot of ways have a lot of the same issues. I guess what I predominantly have an issue with is those who maybe don't take the time to have nuance in the discussion and just say, oh, they agree on economic issues and they only want to divide us on cultural issues.
Yeah, but brother, so
I think
here's
that
the difference.
It's important to make that, because otherwise people stay home. They don't vote, and then we're in the situation that we're in right now when a lot of people don't end up voting.
No, but Oliver, so let me tell you my perspective on it. That's really important.
Okay.
So Democrats
Cenk
always say, hey, look, there's a 5 to 10%.
Let me tell you my perspective. It's really important.
Difference.
That should tell you everything you need to know about Cenk. Let me tell you my opinion. It's really important. My opinion is really important.
You should vote for us.
Okay.
But they don't quite say it that way. You understand that. I understand that.
Right, Mia, right.
You understand that. But
marketing is a thing.
Right, but
marketing is a thing.
No, but hold on. This is super important.
Okay.
But they tell the voters, we're going to make a big difference. We're going to do minimum wage. We're going to do public option. We're going to do paid family leave.
Yes.
And when they don't, people get disappointed and disappointed. And that leads them to not voting. That leads them to hating the Democrats.
He is right. He is right. That was important. But how he how he framed it when he began with it, it's like pretty funny. Sorry, Monkey Sputum, I missed the whole thing that you were saying here. It seems to be equally plain that no business which depends for existence on paying less than living wages to its workers has any right to continue in this country. By business, I mean the whole of commerce as well as the whole of industry. By workers, I mean all workers, but the white collar class as well as the men in overalls. By living wages, I mean that more than a bare subsistence level, I mean the wages of decent living. Who are you quoting there? It's far more civil than the last one, Nappers, yeah. It's so important for us to listen to him do voices.
Go with populist left. That is the one thing that has not been tried.
Sure.
We would actually do the bills. We do the bills. Otherwise, then you're the same as the Republicans.
Okay, fair enough. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Oliver.
Handshake deserved. There's some applause going on. Everyone loved that.
Hey, Cenk. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Great to be speaking with you. I agree with your overall term here. I would say that at the end goal, they agree that economically, we all want the same things, right? But the way we get it is two completely different economical viewpoints. We have the left that tends to be more socialist and communist, and then we have the right that is more crony capitalist.
Okay.
The left wants to take your taxes and they want to distribute it the way they want.
Yeah.
The right wants you to keep your taxes right now. They want you to keep your overtime taxes. They want you to keep your taxes on tips. So what is your...
Yeah, so first of all, brother, you got to stop saying socialism and communism. None of the
Why is that?
Because none of the Democratic politicians are in favor of that. They're actually...
They are. Bernie's quite literally socialist.
No. So he says he's a democratic socialist. Even he doesn't really go towards what you would consider socialism, because you're putting socialism and communism in the same bucket where they don't belong. None of them are in favor of ending corporations, ending capital, etc. In fact, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, their number one problem is that they're corporatists, not that they're socialists or communists.
No, they literally wanted to
will
end.
do whatever corporate donors tell them to do.
They wanted to end
the exact
businesses
opposite
over
of
vaccine
communism.
mandates.
Yeah,
That
no, brother.
no,
but that's drug companies. They're doing the exact opposite of communism. They're saying corporate donors, we will do whatever you corporations want. So when you turn to the Republicans, it's the same thing as Oliver. They have a 5 to 10% release valve with Donald Trump now. He's pretending to be a populist. So he goes, oh my God.
Donald Trump isn't pretending. He is a populist.
Well, look at
he just won the popular vote, both left and right.
Oh my God, this guy. The Brazilian version of this was better.
No, hold on. So when you talk about that bill, the budget bill, that is not big or beautiful. Well, it is big, but it's definitely not beautiful. Sure. The majority of the tax cuts go, of course, as always, to
one communist versus 20 conservatives. There's a Brazilian Jubilee. There is a Brazilian Jubilee. I thought that Lula was doing the Lulag. I thought that Lula was putting these fascist capitalist scumbags in the Lulag. Like, this happened today, by the way. I meant to cover this, to be fair. I do apologize, by the way, that my news hasn't been as good as it could have been. I remember seeing this earlier today. It's because I've been working so much. I was going to cover this. Brazil's Supreme Court orders house arrest of former President Bolsonaro. It's because they found out he was going to do a coup. He's in the Lulag. Denied the coup plotting allegations. Yeah, man. I mean, he probably should stay at home anyway. They should have done this. They should have done this months ago. They should have done this years ago. And it's not even because of the coup stuff. It's because he is a vector for so many diseases. He's the fucking Nurgle king or whatever the Warhammer guy is. He's just like a gross, disgusting. You know. In here's a better reference for people that more people might understand. In Spirited Away, there's that one ghost that comes in and it's like covered in fucking sludge and it's just like sludge everywhere and everyone's like putting masks on and going like, ooh, like that's fucking Bolsonaro. Media representative for Bolsonaro confirmed police placed him under house arrest on Monday evening. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So good. Hey, Vord, how's it going? Ghosts. Yeah, he's a ghost, right? He's a spirit. It's a spirit house where they clean spirits in Spirited Away, right? They wash. It's a spa for spirits. He's a ghost, basically. Moraes said in his decision on Monday, the former president was posting content on the social media channels of 3 lawmaker sons. Watch the Brazilian version, it's so good. Yeah, maybe another time. It's like an hour-long video. So, yeah, we'll go back to this.
Right? But they put in a tiny release valve of, we'll help the middle class a little bit on tips and overtime. Whether that even...
No, you're right. That spirit ended up being nice.
So what are they doing?
You're right.
Let me tell you a fact.
I make more money and I spend less on taxes.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you a fact. So what they do is they throw a little morsel at you, as Obama and Biden throw a little morsel on you for social policies, as we discussed earlier. But the overwhelming majority always goes through it. For example, in this bill, they're cutting Medicaid and SNAP by $1.1 trillion. Do you know how much is going to people making above $500,000 a year in tax cuts? $1.1 trillion. Okay? So they're literally taking from the poorest people and giving it to the richest people.
Which is what the liberals...
It's just wild because he's you know, like you say, Prince, right? He just regularly is tweeting things like the woke left need to get out of politics. You know, he courts the right on a regular basis. He is a centrist in that regard. He's spitting with regards to this, but it's like, you know, he's desperately trying to be like, no, I'm a populist. I'm going to have like social safety net policies and stuff like that. I'm going to redistribute a bit of wealth and this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. But on the other hand, he'll be like, yeah, no, we just don't need to concern ourselves with trans people. We don't need to concern ourselves with land back or anything like that. It's all woke, right? He doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff.
Doing forever,
and he regularly admonishes it. It's just crazy.
Brother, what I'm saying is,
but of course, this fucking like circle is probably not going to bring any of that stuff up. I don't know.
Proving my point. Democrats and Republicans constantly say that they have giant differences. Then what did the Republicans do? They do massive tax cuts for the rich. And then Obama, by the way, came in and actually made Bush's tax cuts permanent, which cost us even more than the original Bush tax cuts did. So there's a lot of theater about how they disagree. But at the end of the day,
why do
the
we
rich
as a
always
business
get tax
owner
cuts.
save
Corporations
more money when
get
Republicans are in office?
Should probably go to bed soon because of the woke left. I mean, yeah, me too.
I'm a small business owner. So we save a little bit of money. The giant corporations save.
I mean, like that's the whole thing that you have to remember about Cenk, right? At the end of the day, he's a small business owner. When you're self-employed, there is like a tipping point where you decide, I'm not making enough money, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire staff and pay them a wage, and they will do more work. They will be able to do more work than me, and I will be able to pay myself a higher wage based on the value that I extract from them. And that is what every single small business owner does. Like they like to pretend that they are a king, like a mini feudal lord or whatever. Like Cenk obviously does that. He obviously, you know, decided he was going to be a small business, and you know, that's where his material interests are at the end of the day. So, of course, he's going to have those reactionary opinions about marginalized people. He's going to do that class reductionism shit.
A ton of money.
Isn't it better if everybody saves money?
No, it's not.
Why not?
Brother,
that makes no sense.
No, brother, it's easy to say, okay, then we shouldn't have any roads, bridges, cops, fire departments,
Nobody's
schools.
saying that. We just don't want our money going to foreign.
We shouldn't have any taxes.
We just don't want our money going to foreign countries.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
On drag events.
And by the way, that's another thing that proves my point.
On drag events! He's not going to address the drag events thing, is he? He's not going to be like, there is no federal spending going on drag events. Like, do you have no ears, eyes, nose? Have you been wrapped up in fucking cling film for the entire last 6 months? If there ever was any federal spending that went towards drag events, Donald Trump would have gotten rid of it. He would have just gotten rid of it. He's gotten rid of loads of stuff. And there was never any of that to begin with anyway. Like, what is he talking about? Federal money going to drag events. It's like nonsense. And Cenk he's not going to mention that, right?
Because the Democrats always do whatever AIPAC tells them. So that is a foreign government.
That's a whole different argument.
No, it's not an argument. It's the same
So
argument. It's the donor class.
Thank you, Cenk.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not shaking his hand.
Hey, man, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So when you talk about this concept of like a release valve, it seems like you're downplaying very relevant and very important differences that exist between the parties. So the Affordable Care Act, you understand that expanded coverage to like millions of people. More people got Medicaid, premiums were subsidized. Like, this is good policy. And I agree with you. Sometimes, in many cases, Democrats lack a spine. They don't push hard enough. But I think chalking that up to like, they're pretty much the same. There's just a little...
No, Doge found the word drag in some documents.
Yeah, it's not at all reductive.
It's definitely real. It's definitely there.
So you're right. It was better than previous systems.
The musical chairs aspect is so stupid. It really is. Yeah, it really is.
Blocked for that, and American people despise that. So
there was an internet common etiquette with Eric where he talks about... He reacts to the Jubilee thing. And like, yeah, it's quite funny. Like, you know, we tried to do a bit of a dive into Jason Wiley and who he is and how it all started and stuff, but Eric went right back and watched the first ever video of Jubilee, and it's like Jason Wiley and his friend on the New York City subway, and they're raising money to send to Haiti, right? To raise money for like a charity to Haiti. How much money are they sending to fucking Haiti nowadays, like with these fucking million view videos? If you look at like how much money does a YouTube video with 1 million views, right? You get about $1,600 for 1 million views. They're posting videos all the time. They're making a bunch of dough, right? Hey, for a lot of time, how are you doing? You know, they're making a whole heap of dough, and that's not even just that. They'll have more ads than the average person, and you know, they will also have sponsorships. They're making so much money, and it's like, how much of that are you sending to Haiti nowadays, bro? It's just so sad.
Need to change. Yeah. That is part of the reason why a right-wing think tank, Heritage Foundation, came up with Romney.
The only thing that the Democrats were good at was soft power and international influence. It's been labeled as funding foreign powers, manipulate and get CIA centers there, yeah.
Then Obama and Romney ran a campaign where they pretended to be on exact opposite ends of the spectrum with the same exact healthcare plan. Literally the same exact healthcare plan.
Do you think the ACA is like a right-wing health insurance plan?
It was literally created by a right-wing think tank, Heritage Foundation.
Right, this is the problem with Democrats, right? The ACA, like, they're like, oh, health insurance. You think health insurance is right wing? Yeah. It's a capitalist idea that you have to pay money to fucking, like, get healthcare. You should just be able to get healthcare for free. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's referring to, like, a body that's like the NHS. I don't know. In the fucking, like, look, even the NHS in the UK, I don't believe is, you know, communist or socialist enough. Because the government doesn't fund it, right? The government is corrupt and they don't fund it. They get all the money from national insurance and they misappropriate the funds, and the NHS doesn't get the funding it needs, and therefore the system falls apart, and everyone is like, yeah, maybe we should privatize the NHS and see what happens. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong about the ACA. Maybe it is actually the like the Obamacare stuff or whatever. But even Obamacare, like, you know, wasn't that good, right? That's kind of the argument that Cenk is making. Obamacare is just like, it's Romney care, so it's not good.
Congress are trying to push a reconciliation bill that literally guts.
I also recognize this guy. Is this guy, a lot of these are going to be influencers as well, right? Isn't this guy like a streamer? I've seen this guy before.
Expanded Medicaid.
Yes. So they always move the goalposts. So what do? They bring in, okay, here's our release valve. Okay, now the American people are still mad. Of course they are, because, and here, let's talk about the next.
You're right, Tariq Bori.
Obama said, oh yeah, we might do the public option, which would have been.
I did not know that,
but a good step forward. Right. I was there. Young Turk's been around forever. And I was like, yes, you got to do the public option. Then Obama says publicly, oh, I guess we can't do the public option. Wink, well, and they immediately took it out of the bill.
Right?
What's that?
That's because of Joe Lieberman, right? But 59 other Democrats would have voted for the public option.
Okay, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that they always, they always have an excuse. So right now, under Biden, the excuse was, oh, we don't have enough senators. Oh, golly, gee.
That's how you pass laws, though.
The filibuster and the parliamentarian. And then under Obama, they had 60. They could pass anything they wanted. They're like, let's take a really, really long time with Romney care. Oh, oops, we ran out of our 60. Things has changed. Okay, now the Republicans are ignoring the parliamentarian when they're trying to pass this bill. So the Democrats keep finding excuses. Why did they take the public option out of the bill?
You think Obama
Why did they
didn't
never
want the
introduce
public option
back again? I don't think the Democrats want the public option at all.
When 59 senators said we'll vote yes on this, and Lieberman
That's
tanked
what I'm
that.
trying to tell you, brother. They don't
In Germany, public healthcare was introduced by Bismarck. What?
If Lieberman agreed, would we not have gotten
mental?
The public option polls at over 70%. They didn't even try to pass it.
Sure, but
number
with
two,
healthcare
when
policy,
Biden came,
Bismarck was like a fucking colonialist psycho, right? Otto von Bismarck. Yeah, like German nationalists love him, right? He brought together the fucking it was what, like Prussia and all the different parts of like Saxony, Prussia, Holy Roman Empire, all different states and shit.
into office said he was going to do public option.
Iron Chancellor.
He lied, and he never once introduced
Biden had,
it.
like, no
If he never
political
once
capital
introduced
compared
it-
to Obama.
Oh, now they
Mental.
don't have political capital. Golly gee,
These are the
constant
realities
excuses
of how
for,
you pass
oh my God, I
legislation,
can't, I
though.
can't, I can't. The voters
It's
are
not I
sick
can't.
of I can't.
It's not
Why
I
don't you
can't.
actually
It's more-
try?
it's more
So tell me
difficult.
why they're such losers. They
It's
can't
more-
pass paid family leave.
It is crazy that people. This is petty, but I kind of hate Cenk calling everyone brother. Yeah. It's gonna be cringe if the black lady sits down and he calls her sister. I think that's like a bit of a cringe thing to do, right? It's gonna come across as like, you know,
84%.
I
Are they
agree with you
losers,
on
or do they
policy.
actually secretly
like, is
agree
he gonna
with
call any white women's sister first?
Republicans, and they don't want any of this because they're corporate donors?
I agree with you on policy. I want paid family leave.
Yeah, he's trying to say brother to be like comrade. He's trying to be comrade. He's trying to do like a new comrade that works for, I don't know.
Single payer health care, but this is not like super easy to pass. You're like, if they just all
Yes,
hold
it
their
is.
hands and
I
sing
can get it passed in
Kumbaya,
2 weeks.
we're gonna get like
2
single
weeks.
payer.
Okay, so here's how you do it, guys. You see, you've been taught by mainstream media and Democratic politicians to accept failure. Oh my God, there's nothing we can do to pass it. There's nothing. Here's what you do.
He is right about this stuff. I'd be so mad if this guy called me Sister Joe.
It's super easy.
It's not
listen,
easy.
Listen. Paid family leave is at 84. Why do I keep insisting on that? Because here's what you would do. You would introduce it. 74% of Republican voters want it. And then you would say, I dare you to vote against it. If you vote against it, you're voting against 84%
Cenk's
of
giving
Americans,
this
and you
year.
will lose your next
What's
election.
Cenk's
I will campaign
giving?
against you. I will find a Republican to campaign against you.
No.
And then, but you say, no, God,
No,
don't
no.
even try. Don't
These-
even
these
try.
policies-
Oh, we have these giant
Hold on, hold on.
differences, but we never pass our bills.
say
We never
Republicans-
even try.
Hold
And who took out
He's being a bit of a fucking dickhead now. He's winding me up. It's like, you don't need to get, like, I guess it's just this vibe, right? The first guy that he had a chat with, he was so respectful to him. I don't know, man. It just gets so frustrating.
$15 minimum wage. Joe Biden took out $15 minimum wage. So they never
You say-
mean it, brother. When is it going to get through
Hold
to you
on.
that they don't
You
pass
say
it
that
for a
Republicans
reason?
agree with us. They agree nominally. I'll give you a great example of this. If you poll Republicans, should we cut Medicaid? They say no. When Medicaid's actually cut and
Thanksgiving is when Hassan and Cenk debate politics on Thanksgiving. Oh, no. Like, I'm a Haas watcher, right? I am a Haas watcher, but like, not that much. Not that much. Also, hi Luna, how are you doing? Last year was torture. I do not doubt it. I do not doubt it.
you poll them, they're just cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. So like nominally, yes, everyone agrees universal health care is good. When you get into the nitty gritty
Hey, Sunspots, what's up?
it gets a lot more complicated. I agree, Democrats should fight much harder, use the bully pulpit, campaign on these issues. But the idea that they're willfully, purposefully sabotaging themselves, some of them sure, but this is not as easy as you're painting it out to be.
Okay, so number one on minimum wage, we at the Young Turks fought for Bernie to put it back in and at least get a vote. Okay, it got a vote. And guess what happened? The 8 Democratic senators who were pretending to be in favor of it all of a sudden voted with the Republicans. They had more than enough to block it because the Democrats don't mean it. They always do rotating villains. So, brother, at what point are you you going to say
brother
is on purpose and not golly?
He loves this he loves this brother shit. He loves it so much.
When you have slim majorities, paradigm shifting policy is just harder to pass.
But 60 is not a slim.
I gotta hear this guy. I gotta hear that from this guy again. Like, Cenk is being annoying as hell, but I gotta hear him say that again.
When you have slim majorities, paradigm shifting policy is just harder to pass.
But 60.
You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. These fucking Dem voters, these blue MAGA, always Kamala Harris, K-Hive, or like Forever Biden, whatever you want to call them, like the super fan Democrat folks, they're just so blind to everything that's happening. It's like Trump is like, yeah man, executive order, executive order, executive order, executive order, like fucking 20,000 executive orders, like changing, like all these sweeping fucking psychopathic fascist reforms, building concentration camps, and he's just like doing whatever the fuck he wants. And then they're like, it's so hard to do this stuff. When your president is in office, it's so hard to do it. When the Democrats are in there, it's so hard to do it. It's so fucking deeply annoying, man. Like, yeah, there are some things that you can't do an executive order for, whatever. Like, you want to have the majority of Congress to like give yourself a mandate, right? But it's just insane.
Not a slim majority. You constantly make excuses. Obama.
Brother is a normal pronoun for like Turkish people to use. They use it all the time. Right? Okay.
Still didn't do it.
I didn't know that.
80 and you'd still find an excuse.
Was massively
Me too. Cenk looks smart by contrast, right?
Foundation.
Nice meeting you, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, if you don't vote for Kamala, you're letting Trump win, right? All that nonsense.
How are you?
Hey there.
You know that's what it's going to be at our next election, right? Unless our new Socialist Party gets any kind of fucking traction, which it will, it already is, and I'm really hopeful about it. But the Labour Party line, I guarantee the Labour Party line is a vote for Corbyn is a vote for Farage. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say a vote for Corbyn is a vote for Farage. That's going to be their entire line.
Nice to meet you.
So
or whoever's the leader, vote for Sultana or vote for...
Democrats and Republicans agree on the same issues and that they want to distract us with culture wars. The question that I would raise is, why are culture wars a distraction when they're such a vital issue? It's important to myself as a conservative, and I'm quite certain to every Democrat in this room. Issues like abortion, social justice, or things that affect us in ways that maybe some policies only benefit the rich. Why?
Here's the thing. This is true. Abortion is important. Abortion is important. This is all important stuff. It's important class stuff. Now, he's a conservative. Is he going to be saying it for the right reasons? Probably not, sadly. However,
should we not focus on things that benefit Americans every day and that could affect women's bodies or gay people's right to get married or maintain the right?
He's right.
So I'm not saying that social issues are not important. That's why I vote Democrat instead of Republican, because I believe women should have the right to an abortion and many of the other things that are on the left, okay? But at the same time, when you talk about trans sports, for example, do you know how many trans athletes there are in the NCAAs?
No, I don't.
10 out of 500,000 athletes. Okay. So for 10 people, we had this giant debate, and the far right were like, no, that's it. This is what the Democratic Party is all about. And the far left was like, yes, that is all we're about. And this is about vulnerable communities, and you have to protect them. So this is the hill we're going to die on. And we're going to talk about this nonstop.
He's admonishing the far left. It's just like, I'm like... Cenk was like, yeah, give up this fight. But now he's like, oh, no, it is wrong that reactionaries were saying that trans people, you know, shouldn't have rights and shit. But it's like, oh, man, it's just crazy that he's admonishing the far left. It's crazy that he's admonishing the far left. When he's like, the far left are right, by the way. The far left are correct. What is going on? Like, I swear to God, man. It's so stupid. It's so completely stupid. All right, Aslan, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you, dude. See you soon.
Okay? But meanwhile, we're getting robbed every single administration. Trillions of dollars in tax cuts under Republicans and under Obama. Tax cut after tax cut.
He screamed at Hassan about it being a trap. Meanwhile, he's the one who fell for the trap,
You know why
right?
they want to split us? They want you to fight left and right. They want you to look left and right. They don't want you to look up. Look up. Okay.
Well, of course, having to look up is very.
It's just this is just stupid shit, right? It's stupid shit. It's class reductionism. That's what this is. Don't look left, don't look right, look up. No, you have to look right if you're on the left. You absolutely do. It's not a culture war to be like, I am scared of these fascists. I'm scared of these fascists killing people who are weaker than them, and you know, I'm scared that there's not going to be enough of us to fight them off and all that stuff. It's important, right? That is a very important thing. It's crazy that he's just doing this like, oh, they want you to look left, they want you to look right, you should look up. It's like, you know that the up is on the right, right? you know that like when you say look up, they're right wingers, right? You understand that, right? You get that, right? Like capitalists are right wingers. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Vital, okay? My master always tells us to look up. That's why I wear the cross. But the point that I'm making is that social issues, in order to really, wouldn't it make sense to effectively mobilize people? You should start with things that can touch them every single day. Social issues impact children, women, men, all of us across all ages and across all ideologies. Shouldn't it be for the American population whose average attention span is maybe 43 to 50?
Like, here's the crazy thing. This guy is cooking. Maybe not for the right reasons. He's not elaborated on what he thinks about these issues yet. He said that he's a conservative. But he's cooking in the sense that, yes, it is important. These things matter. And if you look at the way in which people are treated throughout history, Cenk could come back from this so easily if he were to just say, hey, You're right. These things are important. And actually, the people who are at the top hate all of the things that you're referring to. You know? Excuse me. Mental. Hey, Valerie, how are you doing?
6 seconds.
Marginalized people are human beings. Exactly.
Wouldn't it be best to start with something like a social issue that would then raise
just have pints with the fascists, fine. Just hug a fascist.
Because that splits us. It splits us on purpose. Those don't unify. I say the exact opposite. Why don't you...
He's not clarified what he thinks about these social issues. Cenk has said, I agree with all these issues on the left. But then he's still like, we should still ignore it. And he's not asked him what his opinions are on these things. And I guess that's because that's not in Cenk's interest. That's not in his ideology. His whole statement here is that he wouldn't want to talk about that stuff. He wouldn't want to actually, like, you know, engage in that kind of a discussion because he's like, oh, that divides us. We shouldn't talk about that.
No.
Two issues dealing with the rich and issues dealing with taxes. Why not?
Because that splits us. It splits us on purpose. Those don't unify. I say the exact opposite. Why don't you start on bills we all agree on that have over 70% popularity, like getting money out of politics, anti-war, lowering drug prices through Medicare. Instead, you get to social issues. Here, I'll give you, I'm from a vulnerable community. I'm from a Muslim background, right? But if I told Democrats, I want you to focus only on Muslim rights, that'd be mental. Don't do that. I'm not saying don't care about Muslim rights. I want you to care about that. I want everyone to have
He's creating a reality that doesn't exist. The Democrats were not interested in trans people. The Democrats were not interested in abortion. What is happening? I've not just like forgotten stuff, right, chat? Like the Democrats were not running on solving racism or fighting racism. The Democrats weren't running on that shit. Yeah, they threw trans people under the bus straight away. They weren't talking about we need to resolve the systemic injustices in American society. The way that black people are affected, the way that migrants are affected, the way that trans people are affected, the way that queer people are affected. They weren't talking about any of that stuff. They were like, we should do more war against Palestinians. That was their entire thing. They were like, we will do anything for Israel. We're going to suck Israel's dick until the cows come home. Right? That's what they were saying.
100% same rights.
What I'm saying is, why
build credibility by actually delivering for all of the American people. We raised all of your wages.
They were like, don't worry. Here's the policy that the fucking Democrats were running on. We are going to do so many more wars. We're going to kill so many more babies.
Prices for everyone, for Republicans and Democrats.
But by your logic,
it's crazy that he is in this world. Like, what is he on about?
History for a second here.
Yeah, they did a small amount of, oh no, this is bad with Black Lives Matter, and that was it. That was it.
And things like that, which were inherent.
Nancy Pelosi in the fucking what's the cloth wearing? Is it a kunta cloth? I can't remember what it's called.
Why not? My question is, why
just
not
insane, like completely insane.
Why are you deliberately attempting to prioritize one over the other?
Yeah, they were like, yeah, we should fund the cops. Yeah,
brother, is two things. Number one, you can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Mia, get as much rest as you possibly can. I'm so sorry for distracting you from sleep. Enjoy your rest.
So you don't have to give up Muslim rights. You don't have to give up civil rights. You don't have to stop worrying about that, etc. You can fight on that, but don't forget, you're not supposed to hate the other side. They want you to hate the other side. Stop hating the other side. Fight on the issues you don't agree on. And then on the things you do agree on, stop listening to establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats that divide you so that you never realize, hey, why are most of the tax cuts going to the rich? Why are corporations getting every break? Why is it that in every bill, all the subsidies go to oil?
It's so frustrating because you can have this line, right? You can have this line of, let's tackle the social safety net policies first, right? You can have that line, and it's fine. You can also say, you know, if a Republican is sat opposite you and, you know, they're having a fucking debate with you, I mean, again, you know my opinion on that, but if you're in this situation, it's like, yeah, guess what?
Old chum.
Trans rights will not affect your life at all. You're wrong on what you think trans people are, right? It's just easy to say that. People like Cenk will walk us into the camps debating us on this, if this is too far or not, and should he be nice? Yeah. And we should be nice, right? Oil the jaws of the war machine, feed it with our babies. It's like a working model of American policy for a long, long time, yeah. He's trying to rehabilitate his image, yeah. I think you're right.
Companies.
Thank you for the follow, by the way.
So why don't we unite on the things we agree on first?
But by your own logic, that does a disservice to the fact that it doesn't do a disservice. It acknowledges the fact that as you still vote Democrat, you are still in essence supporting the very system that you're at the same time talking about tearing down. So it's a lot of double talk, is it not?
No, what I do is
you can't vote Democrat and then say that, well, because they still support the rich and the rich still get all the tax cuts, I'm still going to cast my vote, which is the most powerful political weapon you have.
No, that's not true. We already addressed this.
You're on one hand trying to tear down.
That's why primaries are critical. If I want one thing for you guys all to think about is, you must vote in your primaries, because the mainstream media doesn't want you voting in the primaries, because that's where you can make real change. So that's why they love it when you...
Yeah, but it's not, because like they'll just... like, what is he on about? Vote in your primaries. Him and Anna do seem to be trying to pivot back after the failed grift. They need to be doing way more work than that, right? You need to, like, they need to be doing way more than this. If you're going to sit there and be like, drop the trans issue to left-wingers who support trans people, you need to be doing way more than like, don't look left, don't look right, look up. Nonsense. You know? Just fucking dumb.
You go, oh, well, if you don't vote for a Democrat...
I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Trump's going to be in office, and Trump's the boogeyman, and the Republicans will say likewise.
He's saying all this, and he's talking about primaries as if Bernie Sanders didn't get rat-fucked as the presidential candidate. He's talking about all the social safety net policies that Bernie was running on. They were very successful. He had an incredibly powerful grassroots campaign. It looked like he was going to be an extremely popular leader, not just in 2016, also in 2020. He was also running in 2020, and the DNC just rat-fucked him. Like twice. They were like, nah, war criminal. Nah, war criminal. War criminal candidate is what the Dems need, actually. We need 2 war criminals. He's upset because Bernie took his endorsement of Cenk back.
So go vote in your primaries.
So he loves primaries now.
Republicans, you're still in the same party.
Bernie could have beaten Trump. He could have. Absolutely. It would have been a fucking landslide. Because Donald Trump wasn't offering anything. He wasn't offering any kind of fucking policy. But that's the thing. Neither was Hillary. Hillary was like, Pokemon Go to the polls. Like mental stuff. Absolutely mental.
Donors who always serve donors and get people that you love on both economic issues and social issues. You don't have to give up one, but you have to insist on them representing you and not the donor class.
Very great conversation, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Conversation.
Everyone's enjoying this. Everyone's really enjoying this. Everyone's having a good clap after everything. That didn't happen in the fucking in the Medi Hassan and the Fash one, right? Jubilee are definitely doing as much as they can here to try and launder their image.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm not going to disagree with you that in every case, Democrats don't go after the most radical economic policy. One example that
Not radical, they all pull over 70%.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'm a Democrat myself. I agree with a lot of what you say. One example of what you said before is that Joe Biden wanted to cut the corporate or raise the corporate income tax to 28% instead of back to 35%. However, I think that one point to consider would be the fact that a lot of the times Democrats are having to clean up the mess that Republicans made. And when...
Oh my God, it's just like another fucking... It's another line. Democrats are having to clean up the mess that Republicans made, and that's why they can't do anything. That's what Labour are saying at the moment in the UK. They're like, it's so difficult for the Labour government to do anything after the Tories. 10 years of the Tories, they messed everything up. They're trying so hard to clean everything up, and yet they're like passing bills. They're passing bills. They're prescribing organizations, peaceful protesters as terrorists. It's like, come on, man. We're not stupid.
Joe Biden only has 2 years of adequate...
But you really are just like a NPC if you think this. If you just believe what the government is telling you, right? Yeah, Labour sold all the gold. Gordon Brown was like, hey, man, all this stuff that we have as like a really, really good, solid bit of backing of our financial security. Let's just sell it. Get rid of that. We don't need that. We could just have money instead, right?
Support
instead of this thing that will accrue value over time.
Be pursuing farther left tactics.
Proper smart forensic politics from New Labour nightmare politicians.
In 2020 after COVID, it was completely destroyed in 2007 after Obama. So
I mean, like Gordon Brown was based for calling that fucking Rochdale fascist a bigot, even though we got caught saying it on the microphone. It was super funny, but it's true, right? She was a bigot, like. But he was also bad for multiple reasons.
Economic issues, what I'm telling you, brother, is that they're playing good cop, bad cop. On you, on all of us, okay? So the tax cuts is a perfect example. So you're right, Donald Trump takes it from 35 to 21. It's a massive corporate tax cut. That's on Trump, that's on the Republicans. Then Joe Biden says, well, I'm gonna fight that, and he gets a lot of votes to go fight that.
Right, that's why they run with a lie like that, Tariq Abori, because they say that they're like, right, we have to say the thing that people will believe. People suffered immensely under the Republicans, so we will play on that. Same as the UK government, right? Not even just highlighting the Tories reference that throughout the entirety of austerity, right? The run into the chair is part of the format. Yeah, why not schedule a 5-minute slot for everyone? Because ableism is fun. Ableism is fun and normal.
8%. I'm like, wait, it was at 35. So already he's conceding, yeah, I love corporate tax, corporate tax cuts. Hold on. Then he says, oh, well, Joe Manchin wants to make it 25. So golly gee, I don't have a choice, 25. Then did he fight for 25? No, he never introduced it. Never fought for 25. So you tell me, Joe Biden had 4 years and kept it at 21%.
They love to focus on like the Republican people, but they're like listening intently, and he's like, he's saying true things about the Democrats. And also, yeah, he's right. I shouldn't care about trans rights. I already don't. Right? One Hand Politics exposed the chair scramble is staged. They already know who's going to sit down before filming. What? What? You are joking. That is crazy.
And never even tried.
Well, realistically, he had 2 years to get a bill passed. It's the truth. At the end of the day, right, if Joe Manchin sticks it somewhere and he says, well, okay, maybe I'll let you have an expansion of the child tax credit, for example, if you keep it at 21. We don't know all the backdoor negotiations that happened between Joe Biden and Joe Manchin. At the end of the day, right, you can't have everything you want, whether you're Joe Manchin or Joe Biden.
Did you ever consider that they don't mean it? The reason that Joe Biden never tried to raise corporate taxes is because he doesn't want corporate taxes to go up. It was all a trick. It was all a game played on all of us.
No, I don't buy it.
No, I know. There was nothing they could do. That's why they didn't even bother trying. They never bothered trying on any of this. And you keep insisting,
look.
well, good enough. I'll take my 5% change. Thank you, sir. May I have another, sir? So please, for God's sake, wake up and unite to actually get economic policies that we love. The whole country wants.
You can say
except
that,
those corrupt
but
politicians.
in West Virginia, Kamala Harris lost by 30 points, okay? If you put someone that is to the left of Kamala Harris on any economic issue, they're going to lose by that same margin.
You're totally wrong. Do you know what percentage?
What did this person say? Sorry, I was fucking like...
Virginia, Kamala Harris lost by 30 points, okay? If you put someone that is to the left of Kamala Harris on any economic issue, they're going to lose by that same margin.
Who are these people? Who are these people? It's crazy that people think shit like this. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? All right, chat. Listen, it's getting late. I gotta be up fairly early tomorrow. I hate Butter Bebop. Sorry about that. Yeah, you came in just at the end. I'm sorry about that. Chat, don't forget, I have a new video coming out. I've got a new video coming out this week. Head over to my YouTube channel. It is pinned at the top of the Twitch chat. If you're on your browser, if you're on desktop, it should be there. On mobile, it's often a bit finicky with pinned messages, but the link to my video is there. But even if it's not there, you can find that at my channel, which is in the first link. Also follow my second channel, which is also in the chat as well. Thank you so much for being here, chat. Your corporate pride video was really good, very interesting. Thank you, Luna. Yeah, I imagine there'll be maybe something similar this year as my video for September. So yeah, yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate that. I appreciate anyone watching my videos. Yeah, check out my socials. You can support me in various ways. Check out my Patreon. There's all kinds of ways that you can support me, but don't forget, I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a slightly different stream. We got this because we hit the dono goal last month, and we are going to be doing something called Trash Bingus, which is where I play a whole heap of terrible games. You lot play bingo alongside it, and you can win a good game for yourself. I have like hundreds of games to give away. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow, so it's a little different. So if that's not your bag, don't worry. I will see you on Thursday, where I'll be back at 7 p.m. UK time. We will be covering politics. We will actually be covering a bit of brain rot because, it's Thursday and we will have missed the Wednesday stream. But we're also going to be finishing Danny Dyer on UFOs on Thursday. So you've got that to look forward to as well. We are going to raid Lux E Progressive. She's live. She's watching the interview with Rashid Khalidi, which was on Drop Site News. So extremely good content to be raiding into, so join me for that reason. Also stay with me for the raid because it makes me look good. If I bring a whole heap of people over, it makes me look cool and popular, which you all know is correct. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for all the donos. Thank you for all the bits. Thank you for all the follows. It's been a really, really, really awesome stream. Yeah, chat was going crazy earlier. So thank you so much for being here and being so hype and shit. It was dope. It was really, really dope. Right, stay excellent to each other. Peace, solidarity, love. Mwah. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night.